Another round slip away. Call Windmill Golf Center or visit windmillgolfcenter.com to book your appointment today. Must mention code 0326 when booking. This offer ends August 31st. Windmill Golf Center. Play like a pro. The family event of the year returns to Northeast Ohio. The Brew and Barbecue Bash. Saturday, August 15th from noon till 7 p.m. at Streetsboro City Park. From Pitmasters competition to over 16 craft breweries, live music with Chili Peppers Tribute, Hot Red Chili Peppers, and End Rock, St. Helen Unicycle Show, live animals and bounce inflatables, White Lotus Kung Fu, plus the Foam Zone and Chainsaw Sherry. Barbecue, food, music, and fun. Admission is free. Find all the details and discount craft beer packs at cityofstreetsboro.com.
They are our cuddlers and coworkers, purr machines and love bugs, and constant companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life so much better. When we face unexpected challenges in life, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people who love their pets and the pets who love their people, ensuring these families stay exactly where they belong, together. And you have something to offer. With an open heart and mind, there is nothing you can't do. There's no gesture too small or too big when it comes to helping. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. You can help keep pets and people together. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
From the 1-800-HURT-NOW Traffic Center. Hurt in a car? Call KNR.
Brought to you by Home Genius Exteriors, the genius choice in roofing, siding, and exterior solutions you can trust.
Call Home Genius Exteriors now during our summer savings event and get 50% off materials for your new roof. Plus 0% APR and no payments till 2027. Call Home Genius Exteriors at 855-UR-GENIUS. See website for details.
As we start our morning commute today, there's some potential good news for folks on the west side. There's a chance that today's the day the on-ramp to 40 eastbound is reopened at Ridge Road. Has been closed for the past couple months. Jeff Thomas, Odyssey Cleveland Traffic.
Broadcasting from the 92.3 The Fan Studios, fueled by True North Convenience Stores. This is not the time to miss any Browns news. Get the very latest from Berea during our exclusive 2020 reports. This is the radio home of the Cleveland Browns. WKRK-FM and HD1 Cleveland Heights. We are 92.3 The Fan. An Odyssey Sports Station.
92.3 The Fan, 2020 Sports.
This is 2020 Sports, brought to you by Window Nation. For replacement windows and doors, choose Window Nation. Right now, can get 50% off all window styles. Plus, no payments for 2 years. Visit windownation.com today. Window Nation, they're the real deal. Parker Messick deserved better on Thursday. Guardian starter allowed just 2 runs on 3 hits in 5 2/3 innings, but got no help. Cleveland loses to Detroit 3-0. Skipper Stephen Vogt on the effort from the young lefty.
Parker's great. I thought Parker pitched excellent, did his job, kept us in the game for, 6-ish innings, and, we just didn't get anything going versus Montero. He was pretty good.
Guardians dropped 2 of 3 in Detroit. Guardians managed only 4 base hits, 2 from Chase DeLauder. They have now lost 15 of the last 19 games. Field of Dreams game in Iowa last night. Phillies beat the Twins 7-1. Kyle Schwarber hitting a pair of home runs, solo blast to lead off the game, then a 2-run homer in the 4th. Major League Baseball returning to Iowa for the first time in 4 years. Browns had a tryout for former defensive end Zadarius Smith on Thursday. Smith, working on coming out of retirement, played for the Browns in 2023 and 24. Smith collected 10 F-sacks during his time in Cleveland. The Browns tried to get Jadeveon Clowney to come back this offseason, but instead he signed with the Texans. Meanwhile, the Browns doing a walkthrough today in Chicago, getting ready for tomorrow afternoon's preseason opener against the Bears. Preseason action last time, the AFC North. Steelers beat Green Bay 28-9. Aaron Rodgers did not play last night. Medina native Drew Aller did, 10 of 13, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns thrown, ran for another. Former Ohio State QB Will Howard 7-9 for 86 yards. Bengals beat Detroit 16-14. Joe Burrow got the start, played 2 series, was 5 of 6, 39 yards. Former Brown Joe Flacco 5 of 8, 51 yards and a touchdown. NBA announced its 2026-27 schedule on Thursday. Already knew the Cavaliers going to start on the road October 22nd in Philadelphia against LeBron James and the 76ers. Home opener at Rocket Arena is going to be October 24th as they take on the Brooklyn Nets. You can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next time, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
Right now, I anticipate in all the preseason games our guys will play.
Training camp headlines don't take a break. Hear all the latest from Todd Monken before every practice.
Our plan is everybody will dress and they're going to play.
Right here on your radio home for Browns football. 92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
Joe Adell with a line drive to left, and the Tigers take the series. The Guardians are shut out on just 4 singles this afternoon here in the series finale. Tigers didn't do a whole lot offensively themselves, but they did just enough to win it by a final score of 3-0. And the Guardians fall to 59-63.
You get to always go back to perspective. Last year, I think, was just way worse. So I think we always just kind of zoom out and just be like, well, it could be worse, and it was worse, and we made it out of that. So if we can make it out of what we ever did last year, this is going to be nothing. It still sucks. But let's find out why these things are happening. But I think mentally, we're going to still stay dialed. It's never one of those things where we feel like we're down and out. It's just going to recollect, and it's a nice time to go home. And, anything can happen once you go back home.
Our guys are showing up ready to win every day, and that's all we can do. Keep our heads down, keep working, and show up ready to win. The wins are going to come. We just have to stay positive. We can't allow any outside negativity to get into our heads. So for us, it's stay positive, keep working, and win games.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Audio courtesy of Guardians TV. Good morning.
Hello, Kenny.
Stephen Klein, he sounds like a lot of Guardians fans, doesn't he? No?
What do you mean?
He's pretty damn frustrated. It's like, last year doesn't matter at all. This year, he basically admitted everything's going to hell, did he not?
But he said that they were...
No, that's not what he said at all.
He didn't say that?
Yeah, I think it's the opposite of what he said.
I didn't hear what he said. Yeah, let me hear what he said.
You get to always go back to perspective. Last year, I think, was just way worse. So I think we always just kind of zoom out and just be like, well, it could be worse, and it was worse, and we made it out of that. So if we can make it out of what we ever did last year, this is going to be nothing. It still sucks. We'll always find out why these things are happening, but I think mentally, we're going to still stay dialed. It's never one of those things where we feel like we're down and out. It's just going to recollect, and it's a nice time to go home, and, anything can happen once you go back home.
My bad. My headphones were not very loud. I apologize. That does sound like he does. I swear to God, I thought he's saying this is way worse than last year. I apologize. Restart the show.
Owen Laudeman.
Restart the show.
Well, the thing is,
that was bad. Oh my God.
So there's two different things here. In relation to the rest of the division,
whoopsie daisies.
Obviously, they're 2.5 games closer than they were last year at this time. However, they have a worse record than they did last year.
Way worse.
They're 3.5 games back of where they were last year at this time.
Well, and so I told you before the show, I personally am now tired of hearing 15.5 back. It's not the same team. The schedule's not the same. It's not set up the same. You're not beating the bad teams like you were last year. You don't have 6 or 9, whatever it was with the Tigers last year, left with the White Sox. You got 3 games left with the White Sox. So you've already blown that opportunity to do the big chip away, which is play them heads up and win the games, right?
Yeah.
And then to just say that, well, we came back from 15.5. Yeah, you did. You had started your ascent to the mountaintop last year. Mm-hmm. You're still toiling at the bottom, maybe in the middle right now, I guess, since you still technically are in the division. And I don't think it's over, but it's close. I mean, you got the Padres this weekend, and then you get a lot of relief. The schedule's really good for you the next 4 series.
What this year? Okay, that's one thing right there. What this year tells me that they're going to go to the playoffs. I can't make an argument that they're going to the postseason without bringing up last year. It is impossible for me to do right now. There's nothing.
Yeah, and it feels like every time we have this conversation, we do, and I apologize, I've referenced 15.5 back. I think in every conversation, you're right, I'm retiring it now. I'm not going to bring it up anymore.
I agree with you, Ken. You can't have any positivity without referencing it.
You can't do it.
But you have to stop referencing it.
Yeah, you're right.
If that means that the positivity's gone, sorry, guys, the positivity is gone.
It is keeping us honest with each other that if I start making an argument, I think I would start to mention last year within the first 10 seconds. I swear to God, I think I would mention last year in the first 10 seconds of making an argument like, the season's not over. I know that because I did it just a couple of days ago when there's a lot of people saying the season's probably over. You guys got it. Okay, if the season's probably over, then I keep saying, well, the season isn't over. Why isn't the season over? Well, you can't pitch this well with starting pitching and still not be able to push runs across. Something's got to happen. I don't know. How many runs did they leave in scoring position in this series? In the White Sox series, we were in the 40s, right? With runners in scoring position.
Yeah. This wasn't as bad. I think it was
20, I think a PJ tweeted it was like 24.
Yeah, 3.
Okay.
They were 3 and 23 or 3 and 24.
That doesn't make you feel any better because that just means you're not getting as many hits because you didn't do any. It's not like you knocked in a bunch of people to make it different. I mean, yeah, you lost a couple of games where you scored some runs, but that's ridiculous. So 24 is less than 40-something guys, or 45 or 44 that were left on base. That doesn't make anybody feel any better. So that's me trying to just trend and say, well, it's going to go. No, it doesn't. The starting pitching has been good, but also I think you're starting to see some of the starting pitching press because they know they can't get into the bullpen because you have faith in Cade Smith as the closer, don't you? Who do you have faith in right now in the bullpen? I asked this question yesterday, and we struggled to come up with an answer. Last year, there was like 3 guys that you knew right off the top of your head you had faith in the bullpen. They don't have it this year. My starting lineup, which is a platoon lineup, which I know has become a 4-letter word for a lot of Guardians fans. But again, you look around the league, you read up on this. The Dodgers, who have a $1 billion payroll, it seems, like they platoon. It's a different style of baseball. It really is. And I think that not just the Guardians do it, but we only watch the Guardians, and people get sick of the platooning because you start to look for guys that you trust, and then you want those guys in the lineup every day. And when they're not in the lineup, we get mad about it. Totally understandable. Totally understandable. But I can't make an argument to say that this year's going to be better or just fine without bringing up last year. And now that I did have my headphones up and did hear Stephen Kwan, he can't bring up an argument that they're going to be just fine without bringing up last year. It's Major League too. You remember last year, last year was last year. This year is this year. And some of this stuff is really explainable. I know I sound mad. I'm kind of mad at myself because of the headphone thing, but I know I sound mad. I'm not mad. I am trying to accept the reality of, your bullpen's always been good but questionable because it's a bullpen. All right, things change from year to year. Your starting pitching has certainly evened out and gotten better, other than the rocky start that happened last year. You've called up a lot of people. And you were the first person to bring up, Kenny, they called up a lot of people last year and the year before that were rookies, really young players.
Yeah, it's been like making their major league debut. It's 3 years in a row. It's been at least 9 players.
Okay, perfect. That's the thing. You've done that, and it's paid off, or I should say.
And that doesn't include DeLauder this year, who technically played in 3 playoff games last year.
I've listened to a lot of DeLauder, and I understand that my ears have failed me here 10 minutes ago. But Chase DeLauder sounds like a veteran. I'm very excited about his future, even though this season is a struggle for the team in general. Very excited about his future. I know we probably said that about Manzardo last year, but I don't give a damn. I got to find something more positive here. So what you point out is that you bring up all these rookies here over the last 3 years, at least 9 over the last 3 years now. Correct, Owen? 9 over the last 3 years. 9 over the last 3 years.
9 per year.
9 per year. 9 per year over the last 3 years. Bullpen finally kind of fell apart here on you, which you're always living dangerously. Young staff that you're trying to make rotational. And remember, like Tanner Bybee was your opening day starter and your ace kind of by default. Gavin Williams was banged up last year, not ready, still too young. Parker Messick has been a revelation of pitching, but he's still just a pup. These things lead to reality setting in. It's reality. It's not necessarily that they're horrific. I still think their future can be bright as long as we get through this possible lockout. Well, what's going to be a lockout coming up this winter. I think their future can be bright. But this might just be reality setting in here where it's like, hey, man, you got a lot of kids out there playing. Jose is not Jose right now. More on that in just a moment. Yeah, like eventually it's going to catch up with you, and it's catching up with them. Like I'm getting texts, and my phone just lit up, so I know Keith's probably making fun of me about the thing. But he sent a clip of audio earlier this morning, and I'm getting texts like, "Hey, Stephen Vogt's starting to sound like somebody else that we had in this city." Not very great. What you got on?
Well, here's that clip.
Hit it.
Really good mix. Really didn't get into any patterns. He had a really good slider today. Was landing the curveball, good changeup, and seemed like he didn't throw the fastball over the heart of the plate. So he pitched excellent. Actually thought we hit some balls hard, and I thought we, got some things going, but weren't able to really get much going in any particular inning versus him. He threw a really good game.
He's talking about Montero from Detroit. Tired of hearing the praise of the other team.
Know who he's starting to sound like. Who's going to be the one to say it? Or how he has sounded here over the last. They haven't played really good baseball.
Although
that one stretch right before the All-Star break. But
I think he's always sounded like this. But
they've won, so
they were winning.
Okay, that's a good point.
And it was the same with the other guy.
But
the other guy sounded like this too.
You just didn't notice because they won those 2 seasons.
Yeah, nobody cares what a coach or manager says when they win. You don't even stick around for their press conference. But it's when you want to play the blame game when they lose. And it's like how many times you can reinforce this enough, but how many times can you even try to explain away why you're not performing with runners in scoring position?
Do we have to come out and say exactly who he sounds like, or is that apparent?
I mean,
just for anybody
living under a Cleveland rock.
Well, just for anybody
if you
driving
live outside
around
of the Cleveland Rock,
it might only half hurt us. I mean, this is Kevin right there, that clip.
Well, it'd be
that's
Kevin if he
Stefanski.
also led off and said every single time, it starts with me, we've got to coach it better.
I've got to do better. We've got to be better. I've got to coach
That's
it
the only
better.
thing that's missing.
Yeah.
Because,
of course, as we learned, that doesn't make you really feel better.
No, it doesn't.
As a fan.
No, it doesn't.
People just got sick and tired of hearing it.
Because because eventually they go, when are you going to be better? Because when you're doing that just to get through a press conference, even that catches up with you when you're not doing well and fans demand answers. When you're doing well, you could say almost anything you want. Everybody loves you. But when you're not doing so well, they demand answers. And when you're not able to give them answers, because kind of it is what it is in so many ways, they're gonna go after the manager. And that's part of the job. That's why your name's on the door, and that's what you're going to get. And this is not good. And there is no argument right now that I can make that says that they're a postseason team without invoking 2025 and 2024, which is not a great argument to make. So it's either blind faith.
No, I think there's a specificity to 2025. You can bring up 2025 and 2024 and how they did it with these teams that aren't necessarily major league rosters on any other organization, but the Guardians have made it a point to develop young guys, bring up young talent, specifically pitchers being great and, scoring timely runs, playing guards ball. What you can't bring up anymore is just going, 15 and a half back.
Yes.
And just going, the magic.
And
the magic of baseball gods will put us there again. Because when they were 15 and a half back, it was July 8th of 2025. They were 15 and a half back at this point in the year. Last year, they were 6 and a half back, right? They had made that climb. They were coming up. July 8th of this year, they were 2 games back. And now they're 4.5, 5.5 back?
They're slowing. And last year was a record they set, correct? That was a record.
Yes.
15 and a half back is a major league or at least American League record. If it's a record,
major league record.
And Major League Baseball has been around for well over 100 years, the odds of that happening or being able to invoke that back-to-back, because you wouldn't set a record like that back-to-back, but to be able to do that is pretty slim. So I can't use a once in a multiple lifetime argument to say that things are going to be just fine in 2026.
They're 4 games back, which means they left. They played Chicago last week. They went in 3 games back and came out 4 games back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've had a horrible week, horrible 2 weeks, horrible month, whatever. They're 15 of the last 19, something like that, losses.
So my one argument in current time is the ineptitude of the rest of the division.
But you can't even make up ground right now. Last year you were making up ground on an inept division.
Mm-hmm.
This year you can't even make up ground, and it was a Tigers team that was like at one point 20 games over 500.
How many games we got left for the Royals? I know I just sent you on a goose chase. I'm sorry, but I mean, I got one really horrific team in this division. Injuries, I understand, but
go to my favorite website.
I got one really horrific team here, so maybe that'll help us.
6 left with
okay, well, 6 is better than 5. Those are opportunities.
We've got the Giants who are horrible, and we've got them right after the Padres, right?
Yes.
Like we've got the Royals coming up,
but the Padres,
got the Rockies who are not good coming up.
Okay.
We've got the Angels who are not good.
Okay, all right, okay.
We've still got to play the A's. We've still got to play the Orioles.
All right. That Mets series, though, just left such a bad taste in your mouth. That was such a killer.
Between the Mets and this Tiger series, right? The Mets got rid of their entire relief staff. They got rid of like 12 guys, right?
Yes.
And you got swept by them.
Yeah, you did.
And then the Tigers, who sold Skubal and Mize, like 2 starting pitchers, and you lost the series to them. You won 1 game. It ain't looking good.
Can I ask you guys one question in 5 minutes before we get on to another team that's probably set to struggle this year? Can I do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
One question about our all-time icon that was brought up by our good friend, the Dairy Brothers. I want to get to that. And then, do you actually want Deshaun Watson to do well tomorrow? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, live on The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan Peterlin from my friends over there at Bookman & Son Fine Jewelry. 8803 Brecksville Road is where you need to go. So I went so many years ago when I was getting not only the engagement ring that I got for my wife, but the wedding rings that she wears and the one I have on my finger right now as I'm talking to you guys. A pressure-free environment is what I want to tell you about the most, though. You walk in, there's sports on the TV, and Josh just makes you feel comfortable. He's not there to hound you. He's the very best when it comes to making it your decision and one you're going to love. Go check out my friend Josh Bookman at Bookman & Son, bookmanandson.com.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America
good way to start the weekend. For the moment, you're doing a good job. Keep it up. Jeff Thomas, Odyssey Cleveland Traffic.
Hear the reaction from inside the Browns locker room after each and every game on your home for the official Browns postgame show, 92.3 The Fan.
Coming up at 7:20 today, the dangerous one, Daryl Ryder, going to join us on the show. What's he looking for out of the quarterbacks tomorrow? Who's already getting quarterback FOMO as well? Because somebody else played really well yesterday.
It's amazing watching the preseason. Like, there's two good quarterbacks in every game in the preseason, which kind of puts in perspective how many great Browns performances we've had over the years as well.
Nathan Zgura going to join us at 9 o'clock today, Browns color commentator. Quarterbacks, of course, with him, but what else should we be paying attention to tomorrow? Mary Kay Cabot said Tillman is on the bubble, starts this preseason game on the bubble. I mean, you would say rightfully so, would you not?
We're going to lose Thrash and Tillman in the same preseason.
No offense to those young men, but when you get two wide receivers and I mean, one is pick 39, so almost two first-round wide receivers. You're probably going to have some guys who are looking for new places. I think that's only understandable. Nothing against them. It's a numbers game, young man. That's
also
the way
just
it
shows
works.
you how bad that wide receiver room had been for way too long.
Yes. 1 year is how bad that wide receiver was is far too long. To have two or three is that's unconscionable. So we have them both coming up here later on in this show, also coming in hot at 9:45, which it's got to be better than last week, because last week might have been the worst coming in hot I think we've ever had in our entire careers together. Last week's coming in hot. I got something I got to bring up here. It's actually the Derry brothers who brought it up. The Guardians right now are sitting 59-63. I want to ask this to Daryl coming up at 7:20. Hopefully somebody will remind me. Jose Ramirez has not had an extra base hit since June
13th.
Now, he's been injured. June 13th was actually the day he got injured.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there's an injury there, so that takes out some time. But he hasn't had an extra base hit in quite a while.
Was this after he met your kid?
It was immediately after.
He met several people.
Now, I will say I shook Axel's hand last week at the Crushers game. Quite a grip.
Nothing bad happened to you, though.
My hand hooks don't feel great.
You better pay attention to that.
The hamate hooks.
And the way that he runs the board. He's a switch board operator.
Sometimes I do it lefty, sometimes I do it righty.
It's true. Fair point. Now, he's got a good, strong grip, my son. What are you going to do? Good genes. Comes from good stock. The Derry brothers are asking the quiet part out loud. This is courtesy of the Derry Brothers Guardians cast. Matt and Todd, hit it.
You have to shut down Jose Ramirez. Put him back on the injured list and let him get okay. He is not healthy. He's swinging at pitches that he normally doesn't swing at because he's in such a bad way. He doesn't know what to do. There's no pop. He still hasn't had an extra base hit since June 13th. And I know he was out for a month, but since he's come back, he's been terrible. Not to mention, how about the dropped throw to third by Bailey which would have been an out on a steal in this series? It's hurting his defense as well. He's not right. Jose, no. I love you. You're the most prideful guy. I get it. You don't want to show weakness. I get it. I love your leadership. I love everything about you. But sometimes you got to look in the mirror and say, what I am doing is not helping. It is hurting. I got to go and say, Jose has got to be shut down for at least another 2 or 3 weeks.
So this is the issue here. Well, if you're shutting him down for 2 or 3 weeks, we're going into September, for crying out loud, guys. And by that time, who knows where you're at. So it might be time to think about shutting him down just for the rest of the year. See, this is where because if you ask anybody in that building, I say in the building like it's the Browns. If you ask anybody in the stadium, they will tell you, well, you can't hurt it anymore. Both hooks are gone. In each hamate bone, they're both gone. Both hooks are gone. You can't hurt it any worse. But there's definitely some pain he's dealing with, because what they're pointing out, that error, that might be something that the pain, there's a distraction, you're compensating for something. And if he is compensating for it, then yeah, we've seen that a million times in sports over the last 15 years on the Fan Together Tone. Guys overcompensate for one injury, they hurt something else. We see this all the time with offensive linemen. You got a bad back, and all of a sudden you got bad knees, or vice versa. In baseball, we see it all the time. Basketball, certainly you see it, especially with some of those injuries. You overcompensate. So I do think the Derry brothers have an argument there to make about, are we just making it worse? I know he's the leader of this team. He's basically the leader of the entire city. He is our most beloved player in this city. But I think that there is a worthwhile conversation of going, are we hurting him? Are we hurting ourselves by having him out there every single day? Now, if you leave it up to him, and he may very well have this power, I don't know if he's ever coming out.
Right. Well, that's the thing. And look at the numbers, the total drop-off. I mean, 212 last month, 200 this month. Mm-hmm. And they're all kind of dovetailing in the same direction. Like, that's the hard part about this. And you see it with the frustration, not just at the plate, not just with the defense. You see it with the body language. I mean, you could tell he knows he's playing at a level that is just so far beneath Jose Ramirez MVP level. And that's unfortunately what this team, they needed, they relied upon. A big part of their formula is Jose playing like one of the best players in the American League year after year. And the way that all of this has gone south, and it's not getting better. That's the other part of it. So I understand what the Derry brothers are saying. Like, is there any reason to believe that he can just hit his way out of this? Unfortunately, at this point, no. And the thing that has always been a reality for the Guardians, and we've just been fortunate for the most part with Jose since he's been here over the last decade, is their margin for error is so different from teams like the Dodgers.
No, yeah.
Like, you can look at the Dodgers situation right now and go, well, they're old. Is Mookie Betts, nowhere near what he used to be? Well, it doesn't matter because they've got so many other guys that they can throw at the problem.
Yeah.
We don't. Now, we do have more infield depth, I think, than we've had in years past. Like, you actually can remedy it as best you can, but what does it matter if there's no Jose? Like, what does it matter if he's not there playing every day?
What it will also do, and this is the argument for it, why shutting him down might be the right decision, is that I'm going to accuse you of something here. You are an ageist. I remember we used to have the arguments when LeBron first came back in 2014. Is he going to lose a step? Now, LeBron's a supreme being, obviously.
They play another 15 years.
Yeah, but Jose does turn 34 in September. And what you can start to see, if he continues to struggle like this, continues to press, there's still problems there because the defensive error that they bring up, that's a key thing because that means to me, again, that you might be trying to just nurse the pain of what you're going through because I guarantee he rushed back from this injury to try to put this team in the postseason, and that's certainly commendable. But what happens here is that because, and you know this as well as I do, for the hardcore Guardians fans, they're not going to forget this. All right? He turns 34 September 17th. That's his birthday. He finishes the season at 34 years old. If he finishes the season playing, not necessarily healthy, and if he continues to do this, you know the conversation that happens because you're going to go through a lockout more than likely, and he'll be soon, depending on, when do you think that they actually will play baseball next year? If you're going to take a month, give me a month that you think the season will start.
Yeah, I do. I absolutely think there's going to be a condensed schedule of some sort.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that over, period of time? Is it going to start like a month late
or whatever? Is it insane to think that they won't start baseball until June next year? Okay, it's just like, no absolutely not.
I think my month is in 2027.
June? Okay, so June, July, if it's late June, July, August, September, all of a sudden you're 35. You blink, you're 35 years old. And there are players who are great, but you can see this happening. And so now the conversation starts about his age instead of about the injury. And I don't want that to happen. So there's long-term stuff that needs to be brought up. And again, are you teaching? He isn't going to teach himself bad things, but are you doing things just to get by with the injury? Yes. He's played through injuries before. He's playing through an injury now. He's definitely in pain. That's why they have to give him time off and things like that. So you're trying to piecemeal this together to keep your team above board. And I salute him for it. He is, again, the great leader that every organization needs in sports, not just here in Cleveland. But you have to have this conversation over there in that stadium. Are we hurting ourselves? Are we hurting how things go with Jose? Now, I don't think that they're thinking about his age and things like that. I'm talking about you and me. Because if you're a Guardians fan first, you're not going to forget about the injury. All right? But as we go through our calendar, Browns, Cavs, Ohio State, lockout, by the time you get to next year, if there's a slow start in June, now you're going 34-35, and there's a problem there. So if you lose a season based on injury, it does become a better excuse. Yes, excuse, but still an excuse that may be needed just to take some pressure off the man who's had to drag this young franchise. Not that the rest of them are garbage, they're just young. You've had to drag this young franchise to the postseason, and then what have we done to him in the postseason? We've ridiculed him and argued against his postseason prowess. Because of what? Because you're playing with a bunch of pups in the lineup who are going to press. You heard that from Chase DeLauder just the other day. They're going to press in big moments, and you're the one, and you only get 4 at-bats, you're the one that we have to rely on. So now people get surly because they're just dropping in on the Guardians. They get surly with Jose Ramirez in October, which is totally unfounded and wrong. Totally unfounded and wrong. So, yes, it's uncomfortable, but there is a great argument that the Derry brothers make on the Guardians cast, and you can find that on Odyssey, that, yeah, maybe it would be the right thing to do to shut him down. Do you think that they need to shut him down right now? I would certainly consider it by the end of this weekend, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean,
by the end of this homestand, it's like, hey, if we can't beat the Giants, Padres are good, but if we can't be beating the Giants, it's like, hey, you're the greatest we've had and arguably the greatest ever. I think by the time it's all said and done, he's right up there with Bob Feller. Like, we got to have a conversation, sir.
It stinks. The fact that we're even having the conversation now stinks because this shows how desperate we've been and just waiting for some sign that he's going to come out of this. And all you're seeing, like I said, is bad body language. You're reading that every single time, in addition to the errors, in addition to the struggles at the plate. He's pressing all over the place now to try to figure it out. And he looks like a shell of who he is. And the Guardians, they have no chance. I mean, I hate speaking in absolutes. We had a caller yesterday say stop speaking in absolutes about things, but they seem like they got no shot in October if Jose Ramirez is playing like this.
Do you want Deshaun Watson to do well tomorrow?
Yeah, of course.
I think there's a lot of people who disagree with you, and I think that a lot of those folks were Browns fans even before Shedeur Sanders. I'll explain why in 5 on The Fan with Daryl.
of a nice and easy drive into downtown Cleveland on a Friday. They are gone already because we got some problems for folks on 77 northbound as we've got some delays starting up because of an accident just beyond the turnpike because of a crash. Jeff Thomas, Odyssey Cleveland traffic.
Headline sports news every 20 minutes from the University Hospital's sports desk. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
You want Deshaun Watson to do well tomorrow?
I thought this would be a universal yes, Kenny.
A universal yes? I think it might be universal in the studio. I don't think it's a universal yes amongst Browns fans. I want to know the truth. I want you guys to tell me the truth.
Studios.
This is a good weed out question for people that either do or don't understand how the sport works.
Okay.
This is a good one. Honestly, because
right,
you just have to put it through a critical lens of just ask one question. You just have to ask one question after it to prove whether or not people have thought this out.
All right. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to tell you guys the absolute truth here is that I want him to do well tomorrow. Because I think I have the same reasoning you do, but I'm going to let you speak on that. I'm going to give you the devil's advocate, though.
Okay.
After you give me these reasons that I think I'm going to agree with you on. Because I'm in the streets. I hear the reasonings.
I hear too.
I hear a lot of people. And they are not happy that he's starting. Mm-hmm. They're not happy that he's playing. They've tried to make it as sunny as possible, and I've had to be very blunt about that because there is a scenario that is playing out in people's heads, and I'm going to go, you guys got to get that out of your heads. More on that coming up here in about 20 minutes. But give me your reasonings. I'm going to write them down, why you want Deshaun Watson to do well.
Yeah, all you have to do is ask yourself, if Deshaun Watson is playing really well, what does that also mean for everybody else? That means, hey, your offensive line is probably gelling faster than you thought.
I'm writing it down.
Hey, your targets.
If you're watching on YouTube, I'm taking notes.
Hey, your targets, your young targets that we're so excited about, they are making plays. They're catching the football. They're running after they make catches. They're in position to where they're doing the right thing, something we haven't seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is so obvious. It's the head coach. Like now you're already, like we talk about honeymoon period with your head coach, you're already seeing the fruits of that hire. So that's check, check, check. Those are all great things. Kenny, the quarterback thing will likely, and I said this a few years ago, and then he went and got injured the very next week. The quarterback thing will likely work its way out anyway. It'll work itself out. What are the odds that Deshaun Watson makes it through a full season anyway?
Low. Well, I mean, what are the odds that a lot of quarterbacks do, but very low for Deshaun Watson. So
if he looks good already in the first, granted, it gets backups, so we need context. You're going to hear that all the time. But either way, I haven't seen Deshaun Watson play good against anybody. So if he's playing well, even if it's against the backups, that means that all these other things are falling into place, which are going to be there regardless of who the quarterback is.
So I want to know from people who are Browns fans. I'm not going to say, and during this argument, I'm not going to say you're not a real Browns fan. I want to know an argument from Browns fans why they would not, and he's going to go into the stadium next Saturday. He's going to get booed. That's the way it's going to go. We know it. You know it. Browns fans across the world know it. So you don't like him. No doubt the majority of Browns fans do not care for the person. Do you want him to do well? And if you don't, I want a good, strong argument for it. 216-474-0092. If you do, give me a good, strong argument. And give us a good, strong argument as well. Because I agree with you. All right? As much as I didn't want to make the trade, as much as I don't think he's the future of the franchise, I have to want him to do well. I have to. Because of the reasons you said. Offensive line, young targets, Casey Concepcion, Denzel Boston, and then, obviously, Todd Monk. I mean, you hired the guy for a reason, didn't you? So it's not about taking Deshaun Watson and putting him back in MVP form. I think that's unrealistic. I'm not setting that bar for Todd Monken. But I think we can certainly, you got the job. They fired the guy because he couldn't get quarterbacks to play very well. The other guy, can you make him play better than what he's played before? Can you make him not run into terrible, horrific neck-shattering sacks, like the Mike Tomczak clip on NFL Films, just getting ragdolled out there. Can you do that? Now, can I give you devil's advocate?
Yeah.
All he does is get in the way of the future. Like he's been getting in the way of the future for the last couple of years now. All he does is get in the way of the future.
You know, I thought about that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Because if I'm arguing against myself, if I'm in a mirror, I'm going to go, Ken, you say you want him to do well. If he does well, and you also say, Kenny, you don't think he's going to do that well and he's not going to play a full season. If you think all those things, then all he's doing is hurting our chances in the future. He's getting in the way of Shedeur Sanders, and he's also messing up draft stock. That's the argument that's given. Because there are plenty of people who have subscribed to it going, yeah, you know what? We are in the precipice of another football season. We're excited about the football season, but we're really looking forward to what we're going to find out of the draft for 2027. And that is absolutely fair. I'm not ripping on any of those folks. I would like to enjoy some Browns football and see whether or not we can give some people some hell. That's part of the reason why I'd like Deshaun Watson to do well. But I think there's a lot of people going, yeah, you can wish in one hand, et cetera, et cetera. You don't need to do that. We move on. All he can do is get in the way. And also, they don't like him. They also don't like him, and he's a reminder of what could have been had everybody just kept a calm perspective about things and not freaked out after 2021. That's devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I'm with you. For the record,
I'll say this.
I'm with you.
You know, Baker Mayfield didn't start, that rookie season. He came in, I think, halftime of game 3 or right before halftime of the third game of the season. We all remember the fridges and everything.
I still have mine.
And as much as we bickered, and I got into it, I'll never forget, I got into it with Aditi. Like, it was hostile on the air because I'm like, just play him, just play him, just
Still
play
have
him.
a clip of that on my phone somewhere.
Yeah, it was in it. And looking back, I actually don't feel the same way that I did back then. I've flipped to Aditi's side on it, where it's not the end of the world if you're not playing right off the rip in the NFL. Like, it really, there's no conclusive. I think I was anxious. I was like, let's go.
2018 was a long time ago, Anthony. Things have changed in the NFL.
Yeah.
The position has changed in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. And so it's not the end of the world. Like, if you're the biggest Shedeur fan, I've tried to say this for the last month. If you're the biggest Shedeur fan in the world, I don't think it's the end of the world if he doesn't start week 1 and just comes in later. Because maybe it would help to just see a little more. Not every quarterback's curve on their readiness is the exact same. And we've seen this time and time again in the NFL. Doesn't mean, by the way, like I get this every time I bring up anything with the huddle, with getting things ready. They immediately default to, you think he's stupid. And I'm like, God, every time this comes up with Patrick Mahomes, I have to bring up that Patrick admits that he couldn't do anything. He couldn't do any of that
You're
stuff.
talking about either quarterback or Shedeur?
Any of them.
Yeah.
But it especially comes up with Shedeur because there were bad actors saying things like that when it came to Shedeur Sanders. There were people saying that he was just not that bright of a guy. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he might not be ready now. He might be more ready in a month and a half. Maybe that could be better for him. That does not mean that he doesn't have the capacity to learn this stuff.
It's
just a new head coach. It's a new everything, new terminology.
That's the most realistic thing to Shedeur Sanders not starting the season as to just people lying to themselves about what it all means. Like, I don't think it will be sabotage. I don't think that they're going to be trying to get people's hopes up just to dash them. I don't think that Jimmy Haslam is forcing the hand of playing Deshaun Watson just because of the money. I do think that I'll meet people some part of the way and say the reason that you don't have Anthony Richardson or Will Levis, oh God, or any one of these other guys is because you still have a $40 million quarterback. Like, that is your quote unquote bridge quarterback to the year next. Because I really think Anthony Richardson would probably go the same way as Deshaun Watson. I think Will Levis would still go the same way. So what the hell is the point? Other than they just don't have the history with the Browns that Deshaun Watson would have. All right, fine. We'll argue that later on in the show. But for him, like, I want him to do well for all those reasons that you said. But I also know I just don't believe he's going to play that well.
No, I don't
so
either.
So I can hope and hope and hope, but I just don't think it's really going to happen.
I also think one final thing, it also could provide a baseline. If he's able to play well right away, like, I know people are going to talk about the schedule, the wins. Is that going to derail you? It's a long season. I don't think you have to worry about tanking the first and second week of the year. But if he then either loses it or gets injured and then somebody else comes in like Shedeur and then they don't play at that level, well, you've got your baseline. Now it does offer conclusive proof that maybe the next guy is not good enough.
And I think there's people who just want this chapter, this bad chapter in Browns history to end. And they're ready to show up next Saturday and boo his face off, and they don't want him to do well. So I want to ask the truth out of you. I gave you my reasons. I played devil's advocate. Do you, I ain't going to run you unless you say a cuss word, do you really want Deshaun Watson to do well? 216-474-0092. Tomorrow, do you want him to do well tomorrow? Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, Daryl Ryder, in just under a half hour on The Fan.
by following the Browns playlist and 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Right now, I anticipate in all the preseason games our guys will play.
Training camp headlines don't take a break. Hear all the latest from Todd Monken before every practice.
Our plan is everybody will dress and they're going to play.
Right here on your radio home for Browns football. 92.3 The Fan.
$720, the dangerous one, Darryl Ryder. So we got to get moving. 216-474-0092. If you got hate in your heart, let it out. If you got the truth that you want to say, I want to hear you. Do you want Deshaun Watson to do well tomorrow? Do you really want it? Or do you think it's just something you're supposed to say as a Browns fan? Because all I've seen over the last couple of days is a lot of Browns fans say, can't wait to boo him. Can't wait to get in there and boo him next week. Going to boo his face off next week. Well, you don't like him that much. And I gave you the out. Now, I stand with Anthony. It's like, hey, it's quarterback of the Browns. If he does well, it means good things for the offensive line. It means good things for the wide receivers. It means better things for Todd Monken. That's why you fired the last coach. Couldn't really reach the quarterbacks, right? Right. So I'm thinking big picture. I can't just let my anger and vitriol of the last 4 years supersede my feelings of wanting them to do well organizationally. There's plenty of people out there going, no. You're not seeing the forest for the trees. All he can do is get in the way. Because I'll tell you what, it does contradict some things that I had said earlier this week where I'm going, I don't give a damn how well he does this year. He takes him to the Super Bowl and putting his ass on a franchise tag. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him. We've been through this for 4 years. How am I'm supposed to expect it to change now? Hell no, I ain't expecting this to change now. So if I don't, then if I don't trust him, how can I really fully be committed? Because I'm focused on seeing young guys do well. He's not a young guy anymore. I'm focused on seeing young guys do well this year and then committing to the future to make my Cleveland Browns that much better in the future. That means a quarterback in the first round next year. If they're not going to buy into Shedeur Sanders, then I got to look elsewhere. So you can say that we're contradicting ourselves because there was definitely some people who either A, they're not happy about it and they don't like him and they don't want him to play and they thought that this long national nightmare was going to be over. Or B, they're putting another thought into their head, which, can we just address this real quick? A lot of you are trying to say to me that it showcases him for a possible trade. I have to ask you, would you trade for Deshaun Watson?
Nobody would.
If you wouldn't, why would they?
No, not this stage. Nobody would trade for him.
I'd be very surprised if they could get anything for him at all.
You couldn't.
He's untradeable. Of the 4 quarterbacks they have, he's the least likely.
Right. I totally agree. I don't think there's any chance. I don't think even if he played well for 4 games, this isn't like Joe Flacco last year. I don't think anybody is even going to entertain that. Then their fan base has to go through all the same stuff our fan base, and don't act like they don't know. Like this stuff is monitored. People understand how bad that is. I mean, it was a national story when he got cheered, when he got injured. That was a national story. Mm-hmm. And what team, what owner, what GM, what fan base is signing up for that?
You still have a coach in Atlanta that I know fans don't believe it. You listen to a lot of people, he's still well respected around the league. You had the story come out about Bill O'Brien having to call the offense for him because he didn't know what to do. That is something, and then you have everything else that comes with him. That is something you don't sign up for. If he were a free agent, like if they were to cut him, maybe a different story. But I don't think that anybody's going to come knocking on that door. So to play him, to showcase him for a possible trade, I don't know for what. The money's already spent. That's the end of it. We'll see where he goes. So if they're playing him, and it's a preseason game, so I'll stick to the preseason game. But if they start in week 1, which we, as a show, believe they are going to start him week 1, then they are expecting themselves to try to win football games. And they think that he gives them the best chance, which is the one argument that matters and the only argument that you can make. 216-474-0092. So let me go to the phones. I want the truth here. Gary in Cleveland. Gary, you're first up on the fan. Hello, Gary.
Good morning, guys. Hey, Ken, is the Carman Cruiser coming back next week?
From what I'm told, yes. From what I'm told, which by the way, Gary, I caught a little bit of hell about that on the internet a couple days ago. Yeah, don't even act stupid. Yeah, there's a couple people going, you made it about you. I go, I didn't make it. I didn't come up with the idea to put an RV with my name on the damn thing.
But I want to see Watson do well because I've been saying since the Browns playoff loss to the Chiefs that the whole problem with the Browns was Stefanski. He couldn't get his quarterbacks to play well. So if Watson plays well and all year long and the Browns win some games, it's going to prove that it was Stefanski and he sucked as a coach.
Yeah, I mean that is one of the great arguments. That's one of the top 3 arguments that Lima and I made. Yes.
The Browns won a playoff game with him sitting in his basement and came back the next week and lost. And they had a chance to win, but stupid play calling, of course, cost us a playoff game against the Chiefs.
You never liked Stefanski, did you, Gary?
No. I thought he sucked.
All right, that's the truth how you say it on your heart. Thank you very much there, Gary.
If there was anybody that cared about Kevin Stefanski still left here, if he had any family in Cleveland, and this team started winning games, you know what they'd say. They'd be like, where were those wide receivers when I was the coach? Where was that offensive line when I was the coach?
Absolutely.
You know that's coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, he's coaching another team, so maybe he's got to worry about that first and foremost.
Patrick in Cleveland, you're next up on the fan. Hello, Patrick.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
We're doing well, Patrick. Go right on ahead.
Oh, yeah. So, for one, I'm a Houston Texans fan. I live in Cleveland, though, so I was a Deshaun Watson fan. But, honestly, I think that book is closed. I hope he does okay, but I think by week 4 regular season, he's going to be out. But
so you do want him to do well then tomorrow?
Well, not well, but I hope the offense looks functionable. I don't want any false starts, just run the offense in hopes he can run it. I don't want to, but at the same time, I don't want him to do too well because it'll be false hope. But
there it is, the Ric Flair line. You want your buddy doing well. You don't want him doing better than you.
No. What I'm saying is, I think it's just false hope if he does well. We're going to think he's had something when he doesn't. That's all I'm saying. But I don't think KC will live up to the first round pick. And I'll leave it with this. If we would have drafted Jeremiah, it would make our offense just go a little easier. After seeing him
Jeremiah Smith? Wait a minute. Wait.
No, not Jeremiah Smith.
The Bullfrog.
The running back, Arizona.
Jeremiah Love.
Yes.
Oh, you see him last night?
I think it would take pressure. It just would have took pressure off of this whole – I think we should have went with him. I don't think Casey is going to be a first-round receiver.
All right, Patrick, quick question. You said you were a Watson fan, you were a Texan fan.
I'm a Texan fan right now, yes.
Okay. Who is the guy that we have compared to the guy that you used to watch?
It's not recognizable.
Why is that?
Like injuries, the whole debacle when he first got here. I think it's just a shut. He's not who he was in 2020 or 6 years ago, 5 years ago, who he was. I think that I just think Shador should get in there, and we should see what that is. And if he's not it, just look to next year. I mean, and get somebody else in here. These guys, I don't think they have it.
I think a lot of people feel the way you do, Patrick. I know you're a Texans fan first, and thank you very much for the call, but I feel a lot of people are like, they just don't want their time wasted. So that's part of the point of what wanting Shador Sanders to play is. Now, that's been bastardized over and over and over again because people have been worked into a shoot by people on the internet, but you don't want your time wasted. And Deshaun Watson is more the same of what's happened in the past. It feels like a waste of your time. I mean, he said it right there. Yeah, you want him to do well, but you don't want him to do that well. Why don't you want him to do that well? Because you don't want to be lying to yourself. Slater in Miami, you're next up on the fan. Listening on the free Odyssey app. Hello.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing well, Slater. Go right on ahead, friend.
Anthony, are you saying that you were wrong about Baker?
Ooh, I don't know where that came from, but let's do it.
How so?
Well, you said that you flipped to Aditi's side whenever after was it week 3? you were staunch on him playing, but now you're actually more on Ndidi's side. Are you saying are you getting softer in your old age?
Oh, to answer
Well, it depends on what argument. I mean, I think I'm pretty steadfast in that I don't think Baker's ever going to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but just too up and down, doesn't have the body that can withstand all the types of injuries you have to play through and all that. But I'm talking about quarterbacks in general. I used to say that, hey, get the rookies in there ASAP, let's go, it's the NFL. And now I think the whole league has kind of changed when it comes to that. I don't think you have to necessarily play right away. That's where I definitely would say I've flip-flopped over the years.
All right, so what do you want? Do you want him to do well tomorrow, Slater?
I do, because I don't want it to be the same old Browns. That's going to be exactly what is said if the Browns don't do well with Deshaun Watson. So I think he paid what he owed. We have to get over it at some point and have the Browns be a winning team again.
Love these.
That would be more fun than just complaining about Deshaun Watson.
I love these responses. Slater, thank you very much for the call down there. There's Slater in Miami listening on the free Odyssey app. I'm loving the responses because you're Browns fans. You want him to do well. It doesn't mean you like him. You do not like him. But you still want him to do well, which it means a lot. It means a lot. Yeah, you're mad, but it's a different feeling. We got Nathan Zagura coming up at 9 o'clock. Coming up at 7:45, we are already experiencing QB FOMO after one preseason game last night. And Darryl Ryder, what's he looking forward to out of the quarterbacks tomorrow, as well as other positions in preseason game 1 against the Chicago Bears? Browns beat reporter Darryl Ryder answers those questions, and I want to ask him about Jose coming up at 7:21 on The Fan.
schedule on Thursday. I already knew the Cavaliers going to start the season on the road October 22nd in Philadelphia against LeBron James and the 76ers. The home opener, Rocket Arena, that's going to happen October 24th against the Brooklyn Nets. You can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Well, you better enjoy him while you got him, because he might be gone by Christmas after what we released yesterday. Oh, my goodness gracious. Did you see that?
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
You have a technically, it's not back-to-back nights. You have a back-to-back with Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City, and it's the all-time gauntlet. Not to mention they're in the group of death.
Oh.
When it comes to the cup.
Oh.
Kenny, the cup.
Did he rent?
Oh, come on.
He's been here over 2 years now. It'll pay off.
That's true.
Some of these guys never really move in.
Let's get the
all
Dangerous.
the way.
Goes back to France every chance.
Let's bring in foie gras, man. It's different this time of year.
That's right.
Let's bring in Daryl Ryder. He is brought to you by Owen. Who's he brought to you by?
Jive and Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Daryl, good morning to you, friend.
Hello, boys. Good morning.
It's wonderful to speak to you. Do I want to ask him if he wants Deshaun Watson to do well tomorrow? Because we've had a lot of people on social media going, bleep him. But I am inspired by the calls, because there's plenty of people going, don't like him, but he's still the quarterback of the Browns. And if he does do well, it means the offensive line, as Lima illustrated, the offensive line is better. That means the O-line's better. That means the targets are better. That means Todd Monken is better than what you fired.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I obviously don't have a rooting interest in the quarterback derby, but from a pure Browns perspective or a Browns fan's perspective, what you're hoping for tomorrow is that the offense looks organized, the operation is clean and smooth. Deshaun Watson is throwing the football where it needs to go. He's on time. He's on target. And then that puts the pressure on Shedeur Sanders for next week against the Buffalo Bills for him to come out and do the same. And you rinse and repeat if you're a Browns fan. You want to see the same thing from Shedeur Sanders. I mean, just like from my standpoint after watching practice, look, I mean, Deshaun has gotten better as the practices have gone on. He had a very slow start to training camp. He had a lot of throws where they were, quite frankly, cringeworthy, because they were basic throws that he was missing and off target on, but he's been a little more accurate in recent practices. The operation offensively has looked a little smoother in recent practices, and he looks a little more comfortable. See how that translates in the first half against Chicago, but I mean, that's just kind of where I'm at. Neither one of these guys have separated themselves, and I'm to a point now where 3 weeks into this thing, plus an off-season program, it would be nice if one of these quarterbacks distinguished themselves.
Daryl Ryder joining us here. I'm not trying to pick on you with this, okay? I just want to ask. You said you don't have a rooting interest in the quarterback. Is that a journalistic integrity thing? Because I'm not a journalist. You are. Okay. Just want to make sure.
I mean, I'm not supposed to be rooting for anyone.
All right. I have a rooting interest, but yeah.
I mean, that's why I laugh. It's some of the fans, especially the Shedeur fans, who think that the media is openly rooting for Shedeur to fail, or we're just out to get this kid and be as negative as humanly possible. I chuckle at that. Yeah, I mean, I don't root for people to fail. If I root for anything, it's for the story, the best story. And from my standpoint, I think the best story would be Shedeur Sanders winning this quarterback competition. But he's got to go out there and do that.
Daryl, when we talk at all about the stuff that a quarterback has to do in a Todd Monken offense or any coach offense, the Shedeur fans get very irritated because they think it is a direct attack on the intelligence of their quarterback. And I guess I just don't understand. Like, Different quarterbacks all come along and mature at different levels. That doesn't mean that he doesn't have the capacity to do it. And so I have made the case that is there a chance that it just might benefit him from having Deshaun Watson start the beginning of the year and then have Shedeur come in after?
Well, I've never questioned Shedeur's intelligence. I think he's a bright kid. He's got a tremendous amount of talent. My view on him and some of the difficulties he has had, I place that on just this is a new experience for him. He never had to learn a playbook that is as in-depth and complex as an NFL playbook, whether it's last year under Kevin Stefanski or this year under Todd Monken. He now had to reset this offseason on top of it. He had to kind of forget what he learned last year and start from scratch and learn everything again for Todd Monken's offense. That's a lot. And then there's Todd Monken's offense, where it's very demanding, especially pre-snap, the responsibilities of the quarterback, not just regurgitating these 18-word plays and getting everyone lined up and going through all the pre-snap motions and realignments and shifts, right? There's a lot of stuff that you have to do before the ball is even snapped, which is why Todd Monken has dedicated specific periods in practice. Coach Lance Reisland and I, we call them the perfect play periods because you do all the pre-snap stuff, you snap the ball, blow the whistle, you move on to the next card in the playbook. There's just a lot that you have to do as a quarterback, and I don't view that as an intelligence thing for Shedeur Sanders. I view that as hey, this is a lot of stuff he's never had to do before and that he's being exposed to. I think he's gotten tremendously better as a quarterback as we've gone through the offseason program, and now we're almost 3 weeks into training camp. He himself looks better during practice than he did the first practice of training camp. So I think he's come a long way. Do I think he's a finished product yet? No, I don't. Do I think he needs some more time to develop and refine things with his game to play the game the way Todd Monken wants it played and the way you got to play it in the National Football League as compared to college? Yes, absolutely. But I think that there's a lot of talent there, and whether or not he could, I understand where you're coming from, Anthony, about the potentially benefiting from Deshaun starting so he gets more time to develop behind the scenes and keep doing what he's been doing. I do think that there's an argument that could be made for that. In fact, I think I've made that on occasion, and I've gotten backlash for suggesting it. And obviously the backlash being, well, if you start Deshaun, it goes bad, then you throw Shedeur in there. Now Shedeur's back in mop-up duty again like he was last year, and is that really fair to a young quarterback in his second season? And for me, it's, hey, playing time is playing time right now, and that's exactly what Shedeur Sanders needs.
This is not going to be met with a lot of, now I'm just arguing on your behalf. I'm not even asking a question. This is going to sound unfair and nasty, and I just don't care anymore. Clearly, the NFL, we know what the NFL thinks of him. I don't know how many different examples we have to get of what the rest of the league thinks of him. So I think fair goes out the window in that case, because there's plenty of guys drafted where he was drafted that they never get a crack at it.
Yeah, and the Browns. Here's what people miss in that. You can, because you're absolutely right. The NFL has told you what they think of Shedeur Sanders. Okay, and I don't need a poll. I just look at where he was drafted. That tells you all you need to know.
Even a year after where he was drafted. I mean, the people going after Sando and I'm like, don't shoot the messenger. Sando, because every time that we've had him on the station, he's like, these are not my things. This is a compilation of what the executives and the coaches and the scouts are all saying.
Right. And look, and Shedeur Sanders is getting an honest opportunity to win a starting quarterback job with the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns obviously don't think about Shedeur Sanders and look at him through the same lens that the rest of the NFL. But see, everyone's focused on, this narrative. Not everyone, I should say. A large vocal minority of his fan base is just focused on all this negative stuff and how the media is haters and the Browns are haters and sabotaging this kid and want to see him fail. And it's like, no, I don't think anyone wants to see this kid fail. And again, it's Tom Brady 2.0 if he can win the starting job here in Cleveland and lead the Browns to the Super Bowl, like, I mean, that'd be the greatest story of all time in Browns history. So it quite frankly, that'd be a pretty awesome story to write and talk about. But this, the league has told you what they think of him, and that's fine. It doesn't matter what the league thinks of him. What matters is what the Browns think of him, and him maximizing the opportunity that he has with the Browns.
Who's on the bubble going into tomorrow, Daryl?
Well, to me, the bubble doesn't start forming until we get into that third preseason game.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of things that I'm going to be looking for.
Yeah.
I think the defensive line depth is going to be critical. They're banged up there. They got to sort out the rotation. They're in the corner and basically the secondary. You know, we know about Tyson Campbell and Denzel Ward and Miles Harden, right? We've seen a lot of Trey Avery in this camp. Miles Bryant, which of these other cornerbacks and safeties can distinguish themselves? I think that's going to be critically important. And then the the fifth and sixth wide receiver spot, because we know who the four guys they're keeping are, right? You got two jobs up for grabs, and you got 8 guys competing for them. So that, too, is going to be something very, very important to watch in tomorrow's game, outside of just watching how Deshaun Watson performs.
Daryl Ryder joining us here on the show, getting ready for the Browns and the Bears coming up on Saturday. Zadarius Smith in town yesterday. He is unretired. We've had a good relationship here in Cleveland with Zadarius Smith. Was a very nice player for us for a while until we traded him on to the Detroit Lions. What's that mean for the rest of this edge rushing group? Is there an injury there? Are they not really thrilled with Isaiah McGuire? What's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget about Jadeveon Clowney. They took a look at him, too, before he signed with the Houston Texans. And obviously, Andrew Berry is concerned with the depth that they have at that position. Aside from Jared Verse and Alex Wright, those are your starters right now. You've got Julian Okwara. You mentioned Isaiah McGuire, Aiden Huntington. There's a Whiteley kid, Benton Whiteley. I mean, they're very obviously concerned about their depth at the defensive end. They should also be, I think, a little concerned about defensive tackle as well. They're a little shorthanded because of injuries, guys in and out of the lineup. So I think what Andrew Berry is signaling is that he is keeping an eye on that position, and he's looking for an upgrade there any way he can find it right now. And I think that's what you read into not only them looking at Clowney, but then Zadarius Smith. And hey, if you could bring back Zadarius, if the workout went well wherever, gives you another older veteran voice in that locker room. I enjoyed his time here. I thought he was a really good player, and I think that he shouldn't have a problem fitting in here again if they bring him back.
I like him a hell of a lot better than I ever liked Jadeveon Clowney in this locker room. I'll tell you that right now, brother. that is night and day for me, true. Man. Night and freaking day.
Yeah, well, 95 isn't here anymore, so I don't think Jadeveon Clowney would have had any issues in the locker room anymore.
Whoa! Dangerous one, Daryl Ryder. Hey, you're gonna make me ask it. We're not gonna see Joe Royer anytime soon?
I'm not anticipating it.
I don't know what's going on, but I have to ask a question.
It's a personal issue. That's what Andrew Berry told us.
Okay.
And so personal private issue. So yeah, he is not reported for training camp. My understanding is that the Browns are obviously aware of whatever it is that is going on, and it's excused, if you will. Since they're aware, I don't think he's being fined for his absence. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, I'm not anticipating seeing him anytime soon. He hasn't been in camp yet. So
does that absolve the Browns from any discussion?
He has said about the situation, and it isn't much. It's just He's not with the team for personal reasons, and, we understand that. And I think Andrew Berry said something to the effect, I'm paraphrasing, I think he said something to the effect of he'll be welcome back whenever he gets whatever resolved. Because I believe Andrew...
I feel like I'm jerking it into Chappaquiddick here, but it's going to happen. Should Jose Ramirez be shut down? We heard the Derry brothers make the argument for it. The injury, it seems like he's really in pain. And I know it's not going to get any worse, but he seems like he's in pain, and now you're making a few defensive errors, and it's just not been a fun year for Jose. And is it time to shut him down?
Yeah. He came back too soon. And... look, I understand the Guardian standpoint on that. When he did come back, if Jose is telling you he's ready to come back and good to go after, I think it was 5 weeks he was out, Ken.
Yeah.
Then I get it. He's the heart and soul of your franchise. You listen to your player, but the results are the results right now, and he's clearly struggling. You certainly respect his willingness to play through whatever pain or whatever, but it's not helping the team right now. I would put him back on the injured list and let him sit for a couple of weeks and see if that hand gets better. If it gets better, bring him back. But if it doesn't, then obviously you've got to go the specialist route and all that kind of thing to get that thing squared away for next season. But I think, yes, seeing what we're seeing from him right now, which is not the Jose Ramirez we're accustomed to, clearly something is wrong. This isn't he doesn't know how to play baseball anymore thing, or he's a terrible player all of a sudden. He's clearly hurting, and I do think they should sit him down for a little bit and let that hand get right.
All right, Daryl, I love you. Have a great weekend.
You bet, guys. You too.
Daryl Rutter. And he's brought to you by
Scheib & Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Coming up later, Lima, I had a dream that Michael Rooker was trying to kill me and my family last night.
Al Roker?
No, Michael Rooker, the actor. He played Rowdy Burns in Days of Thunder. And I had a dream he was trying to kill me and my family last night. What does that dream mean? And we've already experienced QB FOMO after one preseason game. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima, what that QB FOMO is.
Ken, look at these spirals.
At 7:45 on The Fan.
$4 a month. Clean, shiny, dry, and ready for the road. Visit BlueFallsCarWash.com.
Blue Falls
Car Wash.
Things are starting to get a little slow where 77 north and 90 eastbound meet up in downtown Cleveland. Also, things starting to back up a little bit on Jennings southbound as you approach 480. Jeff Thomas, Odyssey Cleveland traffic.
Multitask this summer with your smart speaker. Crank up the Cleveland sports scene. And when you say play 92.3 The Fan.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
I really don't give a I mean, it had nothing to do with me. I mean, they moved the meeting. I didn't miss it. I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
How it is when you win in Cleveland, man. They love you. When you lose, it's the way it should be.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucked. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. He couldn't please his wife, so now he's divorced.
That sounds really good, but I'm not 6'5", and I don't have the athletic ability to play in the NBA.
Now, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
The Guardians lost again yesterday, dropping the series finale against the Tigers 3-0. Parker Messick did have another strong outing, allowing 2 earned runs over 5 2/3 innings.
Sorry, I had to say it. Go ahead.
But the Guardians had just 4 hits all afternoon, 2 of which coming from Chase DeLauder. And I sit with Parker. I sit and look at Parker Messick, and he's one of your top pitchers. He's probably going to be one of your better pitchers for the next 5 years.
Oh, I think it's a Cy Young candidate.
Could be,
Well, he was earlier this year.
He'll get Cy Young votes this year.
He's going to get Cy Young. Parker Messick going to win the Cy Young in the next 5 years. Boom.
There you go. I think yes. I think the answer's yes there.
Yeah, there you go.
But you think he looks at his contract, and when he hits free agency, like every time Paul Skeens pitches, people go out there, he pitches for the Pirates, and people go on Twitter and they say, "Oh, future Dodger, future Dodger." We've talked about the Guardians giving like Bazzana and DeLauder and Messick long-term contracts.
Well, you guys all farted at me when I wanted to give guys earlier contracts, so I can't make that argument anymore. You guys all get mad.
Do you think the Guardians have offered these guys contracts?
No, we would have known.
We would have known? Okay. Do you think that if they were offered these contracts, they might turn it down, considering the fact that the offenses they're pitching for
depends on how
much?
Well. No, because it's first off, if I offer you $160 million, do you really care about the thing?
Do you think they're going to do that? Do you think the Guardians would offer them?
You asked me a question and I answered the question. If I offer you somewhere in the neighborhood of $160 million over a long-term contract in your rookie season, do you really give a damn? Because you got to take care of yourself. It ain't Little League, dude. It's big.
I think it depends on the pitcher. Like, I think Parker Messick would do it. I don't know if Paul Skeens would do it right now.
A lot of talk about Skeens and his...
Well, Skeens had some bit of issues
his
here
physique.
This year. Oh, tell me more.
You didn't see the picture?
Oh, I saw the picture.
What? Hold on. Let me Google
Skeens. Doesn't exactly scream world-class athlete.
You had me Googling something else last segment, so here we go. This will be hopefully a lot more... nicer than that.
He's wearing some board shorts in this photo, Kenny.
He is with Livy.
Oh, for the love of God. You guys are ridiculous. Did anybody take a look at David Wells in the 90s?
I wanted to take a look at David Wells. That was excellence personified.
Bartolo.
Yeah, thank you. He hit a home run.
They're saying this is why Paul Skeens' physique is. This is why that he hasn't thrown anything over 100 miles an hour.
Because he's got a gut.
6 starts. Yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, you could
ridiculous.
get away with carrying a spare tire and still throw the heat. It's 2026, though.
This is dumb. Bartolo Colon hit a home run, and he looked like a beach ball. Kenny, so I don't even want to hear it.
You're allowed to. He's in Pittsburgh. You can body shame. Come on. You shouldn't your star pitcher shouldn't look like Big Ben. Out of his prime. Move ahead. Move along.
The NBA released the schedules for all 30 teams yesterday. And here are the Cavs. The Cavs' first 10 games, and even their first 13 games, they are very, very difficult. The Cavs could easily be 3-7 after their first 10 games.
They could easily be 7-3. Do I look scared?
I'm
John?
completely distracted now defending Paul Skeens, a man I've never met.
I was told. Did you find others?
Well, I just want to make sure this ain't some fake thing.
I was told I was supposed to be worried about the Raptors. We took care of them in 7 games. I was told I was supposed to be worried about the Pistons, the 1 seed. The 1 seed, the 60-win Detroit Pistons, and we took care of them. It took 7 games, but we took care of them. So what's the problem? Why can't we get off to a good start? John, I feel like the fear-mongering over the Cavs continues. Now, granted, we don't have a full roster. I don't know if James Harden's going to be on the team after he exercised his freedom to get out of his contract. We haven't really added anything yet, except Hazonia.
Oh, yeah.
We did get Hazonia.
And he decided he would play here, right?
I think so. I think he's a Cavalier. Do I look scared to you?
I think your insides are a little bit more scared.
I think he's got the butterflies.
We haven't even started our offseason yet. Look, get back to me when our team is fully formed.
You know what could help you with those butterflies? Surfside hard iced tea.
Calms the nerves.
Yeah.
Go over the
as long
schedule.
As you do
Go
it
ahead.
responsibly.
That's all you
So
can do.
Sixers, Nets.
We were going to do this at
T-Wolves.
8:20, but fine. Well, we can do it both times.
Sixers, Nets, T-Wolves, Wizards, Hawks, Bucks, Thunder. Those are your first 10. And then the next 3 after that, Hornets, then after the Thunder,
Thundercats.
Sixers, Knicks, and then Hornets, Knicks, Heat. They could be 4 and 9. And I think Kenny Atkins could get fired before Thanksgiving, maybe before Christmas.
My goodness. We're talking about
I thought it was going to be a long December.
Fire him before Halloween at this point.
Do I
A real
need-
Halloween havoc.
Do
Owen.
I need during the break to queue up the Malik Thomas Summer League games? Do I need to do that?
I wasn't paying attention. Owen and I were doing Halloween havoc things.
Just everybody down in the Cavs.
Let me tell you
Easter
something,
Conference
Tony Schiavone.
I
Finals.
heard he's going to run point.
What have you done for me lately?
Come on, John. Hit it. With
NFL preseason. Well, there was a quarterback yesterday that I have on these airwaves said that he did not perform up to his potential or up to what people thought he was going to be in college. Well, he may have proved all of us wrong in one preseason game. Drew Aller for the Steelers looked amazing last night. 10 of 13, 153 yards, 3 total touchdowns, and a 74-yard catch and run on his first NFL throw. He looks absolutely amazing. And this is why I was a James Franklin hater for 7 years, 8 years. Like, the second he gets out of the Penn State offense, the second he gets out of the worst offense in the Big Ten, he looks amazing. He looks amazing.
I'm not going to do champions pose just yet. Kind of want to.
Now, hold on.
What?
Will Howard looked good, too, yesterday.
Not as good as Drew Aller.
He didn't look as
I
good.
thought Will Howard looked good. I thought Drew Aller looked good.
Are you trying to say that we shouldn't get excited about preseason quarterback performances?
Did we hire the wrong
sir,
coach,
I'm going
Kenny?
to tell you right now, if Shador Sanders goes out there and lights it up, you better not be saying that on Monday.
Would our quarterbacks be doing better? Would they be able to throw spirals if they had Mike McCarthy?
You are obsessed.
As the head coach.
You are obsessed.
I'm just seeing spirals.
You hasn't told him
These
to throw spirals yet?
These bots.
Maybe that's not his area of expertise.
These bots, these weirdos
Spiralist.
have gotten to you. It's ridiculous.
Fernando Mendoza throwing spirals yesterday. Holy cow.
By the way, the one
That's
that people are making arguments
We're moving.
about, the one that just looks like it's a
Total spirals.
Gardner Minshew for Arizona. Spiral after spiral after spiral.
The one ball that was a duck that Deshaun Watson threw, his arm gets hit.
It did get hit.
By Jared Verse, right? Was it 8 that hit him?
I cannot believe how either dumb people are or they're intentionally misleading. Like, it was so
They're
obvious.
desperate.
It was so obvious.
They're desperate.
It's just you didn't have the view of it. So people could not in their mind, they couldn't just assume, hey, the ball doesn't normally come off like that.
Wait, so are you saying that these takes are spiraling out of control?
They are. Thank you, Owen. Somebody had to say it.
Do the whooshy thing.
And make sure kids have your spiral notebooks ready
You didn't even let me
for the
say
first day of school.
what I
now,
wanted
for
to say about Drew Aller.
lefties, they did make different spiral notebooks for lefties. I do remember that because of the smudging.
I never got one.
And that was so annoying. It's why my penmanship to this day is not where it needed to be. Kenny, you rip on my signature, but it's because the spiral would get in the way of my handwriting.
You write like a person with no hands. Your
It ruined my
signature is
life.
ridiculous.
You do kind of write like a person who puts the pen in his mouth.
Yeah. You're like that last guy who wrote that book when he was in the Iron Lung. That's how your handwriting
I was just going to mention the Iron Lung. He got his law degree, Kenny, all in the Iron Lung.
Would you have him represent you?
Yes.
You would?
Add him to the dream team.
I already got 5 in the dream team, brother.
Yeah, but can they?
Not enough room in the courtroom for it. And he passed away, if I'm not mistaken, the poor guy with the book. R.I.P. You want to read that book, John?
No.
Okay.
Murray Wormuth?
Catch Daryl Ryder.
Knew how to coach a spiral.
Catch Daryl Ryder.
Famously so.
Daryl's on YouTube with Lance Reisland every day.
I hate you.
Then they re-air it at 8:40 at night. It's pretty awesome.
I get to say anything I want to say about Drew Aller because of you and your damn spirals because you're fighting with bots over there. Stop it. Daryl Ryder and Lance Reisland, they got a daily Browns training camp recap. It's on 92.3 The Fans YouTube page. Daryl and Coach Riz, they break down the storylines from each day's practice and, of course, your daily quarterback competition updates. I don't think they mentioned anything about spirals. And you can catch the recap each night on Overtime with Jake Volnick at 8:40. Subscribe to 92.3 The Fans YouTube page right now. Nathan Zagura coming up at 9. I hope that Kenny Atkinson is renting. And can I just say one thing about Drew Aller?
No. Fine. Yes.
That's in 5 minutes, as well as there's only one argument for Deshaun Watson. Unfortunately for the haters, it's the only argument that counts. 5 minutes away on The Fan.
segments from all our shows and can always listen on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Right now, I anticipate in all the preseason games our guys will play.
Training camp headlines don't take a break. Hear all the latest from Todd Munkin before every practice.
Our plan is everybody will dress and they're going to play.
Right here on your radio home for Browns football. 92.3 The Fan.
We got a Connie. Something to do there. 92.3 The Fan looking for a winner. Enter the code FREE, F-R-E-E, at 923thefan.com. Before 9 a.m., your chance to win a $50 gift card to Blue Falls Car Wash. And now you're qualified for the grand prize 6-month membership. Plus, this week only, get a free car wash at the Blue Falls Car Wash in Stowe and Cuyahoga Falls. Brought to you by Blue Falls Car Wash and Sports Radio 92.3 Fan.
9 o'clock, Nathan Zagura. 9:45 coming in hot. You better come correct this week because last week sucked. One of the worst coming in hots we've ever done.
I thought about postponing
it. Wasn't like we had to dump them all. It's just they weren't funny. They weren't good. There was no salient points. You really need to pick it up. It sucks. It all sounded like the first segment when I didn't know what Stephen Kwan was saying. That's all what the whole thing sounded. Which you can go back and listen to my confusion with Stephen Kwan because I didn't have my headphones on both of my ears and I had them too low. You can go back and listen to Stupidity with me and Stephen Kwan on the free rewind feature on the free Odyssey app. It's powered by Integrated Restoration, your local experts in water, fire, and storm disaster restoration. Now, are you done talking about spirals? Somebody said you have Shador derangement syndrome.
I know. Somebody said that.
I agree with them.
But wait a second. Even his closest allies on social media admitted he was throwing ducks because
what do you mean?
That's where the blister talk came from. They said, well, yeah, he's got blisters.
Anyway, I don't care about that right now. I don't care about that anymore.
Shador said the blisters are cleared, though, so what's the excuse now?
Well, now he's got to learn to throw without blisters again.
Good point.
You have to adjust.
Can I talk about something that matters for a second before we go back to we play Zach's audio? Can I do that?
I don't know. Let's see.
All right. So last night, he was 10 of 13. Drew Aller was.
Local boy?
Yeah. Local young man, Drew Aller from Medina. And tweets
Browns
came
fan.
in. Which, did people... I didn't get was the Steelers game on locally anywhere? Or were people watching on, like, NFL Plus? Can you see it
NFL
live?
Network had 2 games on. I don't know which one. I don't have that channel anymore.
I saw... now, their game... I didn't get home until a little later last night. So, I clicked in and I saw the first half of 49ers-Titans. Which the Titans' new jerseys are the cat's ass.
I liked them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I know that they are very Houston Oilers jerseys, but that was a great color scheme. And, yeah, the Oilers belong in Houston, but, it's that franchise, and they got a new one. I didn't get to see much of Drew Aller until this morning, and all they have is the condensed version and everything. I'm not really surprised he looked good. I feel... It's the first preseason game, so I can't say I feel totally vindicated yet because it's only been one preseason game. And at one point, Brandon Weeden went out there and lit up the Cleveland sky, I think against the Lions in the Great Lakes Classic in a preseason game. But when I'm getting a lot of the stuff, the Browns did it again. They lost another one. It's like, well, I get that, but you really weren't going to add to this year. And that may be a big fat excuse. Timing is everything, and we are seeing nature versus nurture. Naturally, Drew Aller is a big-body quarterback, guy who can throw the ball well, big, strong arm, has all those NFL traits that NFL coaches love, and it's natural with him. And he had an absolute boob as an offensive coordinator. A guy who only wanted to call, and I warned everybody from Buffalo I didn't like him, and then he ended up with Penn State. Part of the reason James Franklin's at Virginia Tech, but maybe I should thank the guy because now we're a little bit closer to our buddy now, aren't we? Anyway, the guy who just wanted to call plays for social media, had no rhyme or reason anything, did not protect his quarterback as best he could. It was just stupid. And the coach he played for, it was silly then. And if he would have had a good game against Notre Dame, all that being said, if he'd had a good game against Notre Dame, and I don't even know if they would have won. But if he would have had a good game against Notre Dame and came out in the draft, They drafted second, and they traded that pick away to Jacksonville for Travis Hunter, right? That's
Correct.
when they traded back. They would have drafted Zach will tell you, you don't need to take it from me. You take it from Zach, and Zach's one of the meanest-spirited people I've ever been around. They were going to take him number 2 overall. They were going to take Drew Aller in the top 5. And he didn't come out. The next year was a disaster. He's a third-round guy. Yeah. And I still stand by it. Todd Monken would have been a better for him than anything he had at Penn State. So maybe this is wrong, and maybe it'll end up being wrong. I still say, and you go after me for this because I get nervous about all of them. If I'm afraid of anything, it's brand new quarterbacks. I'll admit that. I have a very tough time buying into one because I've been led down the primrose path by so many. But I thought the best situation for him wasn't a fishbowl to go to another fishbowl. You go from Penn State, where you have a psychotic fan base. Again, when our friend got that job, I got several people saying, welcome to the cult, which is wild. So you go from one strong fan base, a psycho fans, to another strong fan base, a psycho fans. However, I mean, you are in Pittsburgh, so it's not right down the street. It's 2 hours away from where Penn State is. So if he's doing well there and he ends up taking over that job, then my theory goes right through hell, and I'm just too afraid to take risks on quarterbacks then. So I need to call it how I see it too. So I'll put myself out there. I hope he does pretty well. I hope he doesn't do better than whoever ends up being the quarterback of the future for the Cleveland Browns. Is that fair?
Well, you can see the way they're talking about him. Pony had a tweet up about Aller and how he was able to explain in great detail the play.
Who was explaining?
Drew Aller.
Oh, I thought you meant Pony was explaining something, because Pony don't know his ass from a hole in the ground when it comes to
that's
football.
why he needed Drew Aller to explain it.
Okay.
But what he's saying is, look at this guy. Is he a supercomputer, Kenny? But it's just look. I think obviously we're all overreacting to all of what went down yesterday. I mean, I was showing Ken. Look at this. Look at this throw from Mendoza. Look at it. He's throwing over the middle. They said all he could do is throw those back shoulders. No, he's throwing the ball over the middle. He's dissecting the zones. He's doing this. He's doing that. We're having some fun with it because it's finally we get some football and we get some quarterbacks that we've all argued with. Anthony Richardson. You know, I had gotten the text already like, your boy already threw an interception. And I went and watched it. And it was, maybe not a great decision, but it got deflected. And it was picked off. And he also turned the ball over on a fumble. But I'm like, the funny thing is us talking about all these other quarterbacks, that doesn't mean that they're all my boy. Like Sorsby, that's your boy. I'm like, I never said the guy was good. I was just like, if you're the Browns, you have to look into all of this.
Well, that's just asinine then, because you can't just sit there and say you should take the guy, which you wanted them to put a bid in on him, and you don't even know he's good. That's ridiculous. Can you do a little bit of homework?
No, hold on. If the people in the NFL are saying the guy could have a first round.
I want to know what Anthony Lima has to say about him.
A first-round talent, and he has a first-round grade that if he came out and you have a chance to get him in the third round, I'm just saying that's a value proposition. That's a value proposition. Do we have a current...
But still, a wasted pick is a wasted pick. If you thought he was good, then say it with your chest.
We wasted a pick on Joe Royer. What does that matter?
Not... Coming in hot's at 9:45, and you know what? I'm actually not going to entertain even that at 9:45.
Waste picks all the time.
That is not...
Did we waste two quarterback picks the year before with Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur?
You're not doing your job, though. That's not it.
Are the Browns doing their job? That was my whole point.
Do you understand what I'm saying in there to him? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, people on the phone's got to understand what I'm saying to him, right? You can't just sit there and keep giving me... See, this is why I get mad, and you guys all call me the biggest sissy who ever lived. Because I look at these guys, and I take copious notes on this the year before they even start, and then I go, well, it hasn't worked before, so we might as well go ahead and try. I mean, what are you saying?
You take copious notes and then never want a quarterback. You never want any of them. You talk yourself off every single quarterback.
Because I am afraid of taking a lot of quarterbacks. I've admitted it many times.
And now we have Shedeur versus Deshaun Watson, and the NFL's laughing at our quarterback competition right now. That's what you get.
I didn't want to take Deshaun Watson.
I did.
Duck Hunt 2026.
Do you have the sound? We already have one. We already have one Nintendo game in there.
I don't, but I will shortly.
I believe We have lost Owen for the rest of the show.
You are going to you better be careful, because if they're threatening it, I'd like to see them threat the Air Force veteran. You go right on ahead. That ain't going to get you anywhere. Oh, boy. Okay. But I'm not going to overcorrect and just throw caution to the wind and just say, well, it hasn't worked out with anybody else, so we might as well just go after this guy. That's what I don't like about what you give me in your arguments. That's what I hate. Give me a reason why you like a guy other than our quarterback situation sucks. I know our quarterback situation has sucked, but you're giving me answers that aren't making it any better. That's why I roll my eyes as hard as I can yesterday when Jeff Phelps has given us, Will Levis and Anthony Richardson? And I'm looking at going, what the hell is this?
I never liked Will Levis.
And then I had to sit there, and I'm in the bathroom, and I'm just thinking, while I'm hearing it, I'm washing my hands going, is it really going to make that big a damn difference between Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders, Kenny? So you can't go ripping on Jeff now, can you? I just don't think I'm not going to give up one single pick for any of those guys. I want your opinion, not just the path of least resistance of the Browns haven't done this, that, and the other, so we might as well go after this guy. That's my issue. Maybe it is that simple. Maybe it is. Maybe I've made way too much of it. Maybe I've worked too damn hard, Tone. All right. The only argument for Watson, it's the only argument that counts. And fired by Thanksgiving, not even waiting till Christmas, the NBA is trying to prove a point with Kenny Atkinson, Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. 9 o'clock, Nathan Zagura on The Fan.
announced the 2026-27 schedule on Thursday. Cavaliers going to be starting the season on the road October 22nd in Philadelphia against LeBron James and the 76ers. Home opener at Rocket Arena October 24th against the Brooklyn Nets. Get all the latest Browns content filtered right to your phone during training camp by following the Browns playlist and 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
You're a sick individual because you make me hope that there will be some Ducks tomorrow and that we can play this over highlights.
It's great sound. It was a great game.
Oh, the game is the best.
Well, we had the double. Was it the Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt? Did that come with the first Nintendo?
Yes, it did.
Duck Hunt was a cut above the rest for a long time. The greatest game ever is Mario Kart. Mario Kart could bring together nations. Mario Kart is played in old folks' homes. Mario Kart is played in kindergarten.
Led to fistfights on 34 East 18th Street in Columbus.
To me, Mario Kart brought people back together. Like, I think you could sit down with your ex-wife and play, like, all right, we're going to still play Mario Kart. Like, Mario Kart to me is just the greatest video game that was ever invented. But Duck Hunt's definitely top 5. Duck Hunt's top 5. And the dog comes out and starts laughing at you. It's fantastic.
There's another pass.
Daryl Rutter, he joined us earlier today. We asked him about the Ducks. You wanted to ask him, of course, about the blisters.
You waved me off. Kenny waved me off the question.
So then you got into a, you know what? Considering where the interview went, maybe I would have rather you asked about the blisters. Coming in hot at 9:43, Nathan Zagura coming up at 9.
Hold on, now you got to play the Zach Jackson.
All right, fine, to hell with it. Play the damn Zach Jackson.
Right now.
God, I hate you dearly. God, do I hate you. This thing is going straight to hell. I want to get us back on track.
We will.
You won't let us get back on track.
As soon as we do the deep dive.
And then we do this from Zach Jackson.
Fine.
All camp long, he's been throwing balls that aren't spirals. And they hang up. They don't look good. Now, a lot of them do get where they're supposed to go, but it's noticeable that a guy competing for an NFL starting quarterback job is not throwing spirals. It's noticeable because it's happening on a large percentage of the throws. And again, a lot of them are getting there. So I don't know what's going on. I know apparently there was a blister issue, and Shedeur was asked that in his Wednesday press conference. He said he had a blister issue early in camp. He said it's cleared up. He's still throwing ducks every single day. I love when people say, well, Peyton Manning didn't always throw spirals, but he got it there. Peyton Manning and Shedeur Sanders have one thing in common. They both lived in Colorado for a couple years.
Audio courtesy of Zach Jackson and friends. Zach has definitely talked about Zach has definitely talked about the spirals or lack thereof. Social media reactions on X are brought to you by
Jive and Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Carver said to Zach, let's see your fat ass throw a spiral deep downfield on target every time. Oh, no, you just read about it. You want to get into the spiral talk? Get into the spiral talk. Fine. I don't know where you want to take it, but you wanted it. You got it.
No, there is a question to be had because we had Chris Muller on yesterday.
The only thing they have in common is they lived in Colorado.
Chris Muller said that the Shedeur Sanders touchdown throw against the Steelers last year at the stadium to Fannin was the worst touchdown throw he had ever seen. And the pushback was it got there.
Yeah.
And it was a touchdown. And the winds were swirling.
Beggars can't be choosers. Choosers. You got to stop it.
I'm picturing the dog going and getting the ball.
You got to stop it.
Now, if we were to compare this to Dylan Gabriel's ball, which is a horse of a different color, really, if you think about it.
Get it all out, because once we draft CJ Carr next year, these all go away.
I'm going to go get the RC Pro-Am sound from that. We're going all in.
We really do. Oh, that one drifted. That one drifted out of bounds. We do need, this is where, do we still do the coming in hotline?
Oh, yeah, man.
We need every Browns quarterback compared to an NES video game.
Go to the Odyssey app right now. It looks like a microphone on a button. Click on it. That's a coming in hotline.
Owen will put the sound together. Yeah. Every Browns quarterback that you can remember.
Oh, my God.
I got nothing better to do. We've been doing the same Browns talk for a month now. Give me something to do.
This was always the way this was going to go. You weren't going to suppress Owen's skills.
No one sat there and thought that we were going to be playing sound from Duck Hunter, Duck Hunt, when it was this. No one thought that was going to happen. That dog. I love that damn dog. All right. Can I get back on track now?
Sure.
All right. Hell's frozen over. I agree with Sarah Ono on something. That's at 9:22 this morning. Also, Nathan Zagura going to join us at 9. So I'm going to get to the schedule thing coming up at 8:40. There's only one argument for Deshaun Watson. Sad thing is, it's the only argument that counts. Todd Monken's job is to do what? Todd Monken's job is to do what?
Turn around the Browns. Win football games.
There you go. It's the only argument that he has, and it's the only one that counts. Because Zach said it in that pod. Guys, we get a list of audio every day. Things from the station, things from the show yesterday. And I'm telling you, to a person, it is, yeah, you should play Shedeur Sanders. Yeah, you should play, all these ones. Leroy Hort, former Cleveland Brown. If you need 1 yard, he'll get you 3. If you need 5, he'll get you 3. Leroy Hort's words, not mine. Leroy Hort said it. Steve Smith Sr., he doesn't think a tie should go to Shedeur, but he also believes that Shedeur probably should be the starter. There's a lot of people here, former players, media members, former coaches, who are looking at a big picture, Shedeur. That's what's frustrating to the Shedeur fans that are getting in, is you can't find if it were my decision and my job's not on the line, I would absolutely start Shedeur. If it's close, I want to start Shedeur for a multitude of reasons that are also emotional with Browns fans. But there's one argument that you can make for Watson if he is more likely to help you win. If he helps you win better than or if he's more apt to help you win than what Shedeur Sanders is, then yeah, you pick it out. Don't say that one on the air.
All I'm saying, Kenny, as much as everybody wants to boo Deshaun Watson, have him look terrible, get him out of our lives forever, which we thought he was already out of our life. And here he is, competing for the starting job. I'm just saying, if he looks good in the preseason, you will think very positively, maybe not about the situation right now, but you'll be thinking positively about Fannin, about Concepcion, about Boston. You'll be thinking better about the offensive line, and you will be so excited about the future of this team with the head coach and what he can orchestrate offensively.
Dan Orlovsky says, it doesn't make any sense to play Deshaun Watson. Yeah, it doesn't. You're thinking from a big point of view. You want to see whether or not a guy is part of the future, and more than likely he isn't. And that's why they did what they did. But you want to see it. And, for the people who, I asked this question earlier today, do you really want Deshaun Watson to do well tomorrow? It's okay if you really feel you don't. There were so many people who got in on social media. Now, the calls wanted him to do well. They're Browns fans. They don't like, and all the calls were saying, I don't like the guy. He's starting. I want him to do well. Okay, but there were plenty of people who get it. Nope, don't want him, don't like it. Well, that's fair. And I don't want to take anything away from that because it's been a bad 4 years. It's been really, really bad. And you may get into arguments with people over the other guy, but the other guy's still more fun to talk about than Deshaun Watson. It's all a bunch of never happened. I can't even do the ifs and buts because it never even really existed. The only time we ever had fun and got out of Browns prison with Deshaun Watson here is when Joe Flacco was playing quarterback. It's the only time. Shedeur Sanders, yeah, I know. You believe his fan base is annoying. Lima is quite taken in by them. there's so many things that you might not like his dad. You might like the practice policy that they have for the media out at Colorado now, which is weird. There's a lot of things that you might not. It still doesn't even touch all the arguments that we've had for Deshaun Watson, because you didn't trade away a guy that was pretty well liked. He was not really liked at the time by a lot of folks, but who in all was pretty well liked. You traded away a guy who was pretty well liked for Deshaun Watson. He was never good. It was bad out of the box. I could go on and on and on, and for all I know, I might. So if you don't want him to do well, I can meet you halfway and understand where you're at, because I don't think you want your time wasted either. Of all the nasty things you could say, it's still what matters most is your time as a sports fan. And if you feel you're going to have your time wasted, I sympathize with that. I feel the same way. That's why I want Shedeur Sanders to start. It may still be a waste of quote-unquote time, but at least it's something that I can see for the future, and then I can just go on and take my quarterback in the future. This is just a reminder of a lost generation of Browns. This is just a reminder of where Joel Bitonio, if they would have, if you keep Baker Mayfield, think about this. If you keep that guy, I think we're having a lot of the same arguments that the Bills are having. Josh Allen's a higher level quarterback, but we're having a lot of the same arguments. I think we're having a lot of the same arguments. A better argument to make is what the Chargers are going through with Justin Herbert. Are you or aren't you? That type of thing. And I think we'd probably be having that still way better than this. And if you would have done that, Joel Bitonio has a better chance of the Hall of Fame. Denzel Ward has a better chance of the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. Can't guarantee it, but you're playing at a higher level than what you are now. Because this is cost guys. Deshaun Watson's career in Cleveland has cost legacies, has got guys fired, has cost guys chances to go to the playoffs, which has cost guys more money, which has cost guys their legacy in so many ways, like I just said. So there is something more than just the fans not liking him. There's something more than that. And he reminds me of all those bad things. All that pointed out, he's still playing quarterback for the Browns, and I got to think big picture. And I also don't think he's going to go back to any sort of form that what he was, which the Browns thought that they were getting. So if I don't think that he's going to do that, he can still prove the offensive line is better, which is a very scary thing that none of us have really talked about here. We all assume that it's going to be better because it could barely get any worse. And Spencer Fano looks like he could be a very good football player for a long time. But he's only 1 of 5. We went through that with Joe freaking Thomas in so many ways. There were other guys that were good across that offensive line, but there were a couple of years where there weren't. And I have to make sure that the offensive line is better. Deshaun Watson can reflect that. I have to make sure the wide receiver core is better. Deshaun Watson might be able to reflect that. And I want Todd Monken to be better than what we fired. So he can reflect that, Tone.
Well, I think that's just what I'm getting at. The better things look, if it looks fluid, if I know it's in camp, if you're looking, by the way, if you're paying attention to any camps around the NFL, they even said Lamar Jackson. They're trying to figure out the cadence with Lamar Jackson and getting guys lined up. New coach, right? So, I did have Shedeur people all over that story. It's like, see, it's not just a Shedeur thing. No, I didn't say it was. I think that's something for every quarterback who's in a new system. You have to figure that stuff out. It's just that Shedeur hasn't been in the NFL that long. So there could be a more of an uphill, a longer road before, you can figure all that stuff out. But this stuff is not really supposed to look all that seamless at this stage. Once we get out there closer to the regular season, well, yeah, stuff is supposed to get better. And I think that's what I'm looking at, that if things are clean, then I'm already starting to feel better, not necessarily about Watson. I'm feeling better about what the offense could be capable of with this head coach.
Listen, we might get to a point, and there's plenty of tankers out there who argue with me every day about the value of tanking. And I'm not just talking about our buddy TA or anything like that. I'm being honest here. There's plenty of people who think that I'm foolhardy to ever want them to win, so we could find it. I always think if you're playing for next year or the year after that, you consistently do that, and you end up losing, you end up getting fired in real life because you're always worried about the year after. Look at what Sashi Brown did. Look what got him canned. Because as Lima said, any idiot can tear down a football team. It takes real skill to actually build one up. He didn't get the chance because we're all focused on next year. Well, we're going to find someone we trust better to build for next year. Bye-bye. I don't think I'm ever going to trust him. We could get to the Super Bowl this year, which is not realistic. We could get to the Super Bowl this year, and I still think I'd franchise tag him. I still might even draft a quarterback in the first round, even though we'd be picking 31st or 32nd. So I probably have to move up and give away assets if something like that is. But if you were a Super Bowl team with Deshaun Watson, maybe I'd be willing to do that. I mean, that's how much I distrust him. That's how much. But there is still a benefit. And you wanted Kevin Stefanski fired. He got fired. We brought in Todd Monken. I know it wasn't the overwhelmingly popular choice, but he is a good guy. Seems like a really good football coach so far. We'll see how it goes when they actually start playing football games that matter. But you wanted him, you got him, and you want that guy to do well. And if Deshaun Watson was that moribund for that many years and then ends up getting resurrected to some level, it makes me feel better about Todd Monken. I can have my cake and eat it too. I don't trust Deshaun Watson, but I can certainly feel better about Todd Monken and go, okay, now go out and get us a real quarterback, and I'm going to feel better with Todd Monken with that real quarterback. Coming up at 9 o'clock, Nathan Zagura going to join us on the show. Is the NBA trying to get Kenny Atkinson fired? Sure as hell looks like it. 5 minutes away on The Fan.
Cleveland traffic.
92.3 The Fan has the most local sports talk in town, and you can be a part of it anytime you want. Weigh in on X at 92.3 The Fan and see if our hosts make your reaction a part of our shows. Powered by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Deshaun Watson, Shador Sanders. The Browns QB battle is back. We're your home for preseason coverage. The radio home of the Cleveland Browns. 92.3 The Fan.
This past segment with Duck Hunt might be my top 5 segment from you guys of all time.
Johnny Manziel's Crazy Taxi.
It's party time. Let's have some fun. All right, let's go make some crazy money. Crazy Taxi.
That's a deep pool. I'm at a quarterback in a game that would get us all fired. Don't say it because it's a Friday. Coming in hot at 9:40. Don't even mess with
restraint. I'm showing tough restraint.
Friday's the days we get in trouble.
You know it was good.
Yes, Friday is the days we get in trouble. 9 o'clock, Nathan Zagura going to join us on the show. Now you might me go, well, I just want to be entertained, so maybe I am looking for some ducks. Because if we can get some ducks, and if
we get some ducks tomorrow, you better be tuned in at 6:01 or whatever time that show starts on.
If Siciliano's like, oh, kind of a duck there, it's happening. You saw the Cavs schedule that came out yesterday. I think the league is actually trying to get Kenny Atkinson fired because they don't like people making jokes about the analytics. I think they're like, no, we take this seriously. He said something silly. Let's get him out of here. You start with Philly, then Brooklyn. You have a home and home against Oklahoma City in the first month of the season. Philly, Brooklyn, okay. Minnesota, Washington, okay. Atlanta, Milwaukee, okay. Home and home, Oklahoma City. Philadelphia, New York, Charlotte, okay. New York, Miami, Dallas, Chicago. You do get a little bit of a layup here, but what's Indiana going to be by the time November 20th comes around? Tyrese Halliburton is obviously back. So could he beat Kent? Thanksgiving is November 26th. It's the day after the Knicks. It's away. It's at Madison Square Garden, 7:30. They ain't going to fire him on Thanksgiving Day, right?
It is an absolutely brutal schedule.
This is difficult. This is real difficult.
There's no doubt. And we knew more teams than ever before in the NBA are actually going to try. Novel concept, right? But tanking doesn't help you anymore with the way that they're doing the lottery.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you get relegated in the lottery.
Well, I don't think we have a first-round pick until 2067. So,
but it's just that all the teams are going to play. Look, the Cavs, they've had these great stretches like last year, even with all the injuries. They were incredible after the Harden trade, but a lot of that could also be said, well, these teams aren't necessarily trying because they were tanking and the draft was so good in the top. Well, that's done. So there's going to be none of that. All these teams are going to get their best. And the Eastern Conference, it seems like the pendulum has swung to the East in terms of the sheer amount of teams that are trying to make the playoffs.
Have a chance. Not just make the playoffs, but might have a look at it. The Knicks, this era of basketball, you wanted parity, you got parity. There are a lot of teams here, both sides of the ledger, that might have a look at it, and nobody is really thinking about the Cavs. I mean, what was it? 7th best odds, 8th best odds, and if you looked at the odds, I think there were ties, so you could always go, well, tie for 9th, whatever. This is a tough schedule, and when Kenny Atkinson said what he said, and you've been the butt of jokes for an entire offseason, we still have a lot of offseason to go here with the Cavs, but when you're the butt of jokes for an entire offseason, when the Knicks are making jokes at their championship celebration at your expense, that rubs a lot of fans, obviously, really nasty, and they are not going to be thrilled about this. And the schedule is a tough schedule. And as Lima always says, I forgot that James Harden has not been signed yet. There is this feeling with this team that is ugly. That is absolutely ugly. And I'm telling you, in the first half of this season, December can be a little bit difficult here, but I'm serious. In the first half of this season, you're either going to get the fans back or they're going to tune out. One of the two. Like in the first half, like they will not care unless you fire Kenny Atkinson. Then they're going to be interested, or they'll at least be curious. But if you fire Kenny Atkinson, they'll have that. But if you don't, like you got a malaise right now. I think there's still a lot of people like, I can't believe LeBron picked Philly. Like there is a bit where it's setting in where there's no emotion to it, and you're just going, how did you pick Philly? There's no emotion there. And that's a good basketball team, obviously. But how you ask, why would you do it? And with this schedule, Anthony, it's very difficult. The first half is very, very difficult for you. And if Kenny Atkinson goes, maybe that'll stoke the fire a little bit. But I think that this is something that, I mean, you could start out 500, sub 500, and you can make a lot of fans just go, no, that ain't happening with this group. Forget it. That's ugly to say.
Well, in a way, Owen has continued to talk about the malaise. If they don't get LeBron, if they didn't make any of the big swings, then there was going to be a malaise with this team. I'll tell you what that schedule does. Kind of eliminates the malaise for that part of the schedule. Like, people are going to be dialed in, and they're going to say, let's see it. Because the way you guys ended your season last year was such an embarrassment.
It's called hate watching. And I'm going to be there for it because I'm still upset that he had his job after those comments. And then they didn't do anything, and I guess the organization got okey-doked by LeBron more than anything. But now here we are. When did LeBron go to Philly? 3 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing?
Going over the schedule? Oh, you're talking about
just in general.
Like you're talking about the team. Exactly. All we can do right now is go over the schedule because you can't go over any additions made to the roster.
Well, we're trying to get a person. I haven't really spoken his name a lot. Paxton Lynch is in. Who's the guy? Peyton Wallace.
There you go. Rusty's son.
Paxton Lynch. Hey, he couldn't really play football. Let's see if he can do the basketball.
He was tall.
Quarterback with facial hair. I told you about that. Got to be careful. This does not make it look very good for a lot of folks. I mean, you are right, Owen. It is a curiosity, but I think it's a hate watch. Like, I think there's going to be some people when they start this season on the 22nd at Philadelphia. If LeBron and Philadelphia go out and clock you, I think we might get calls on Friday the 23rd like, he's got to go. I really do. I think we might get calls like that. This is a season that's set up for a lot of nasty feelings with the Cleveland Cavaliers. What are you looking for tomorrow other than quarterbacks?
Going right to the line.
Nathan at 9.
I'm going right to the offensive line.
Yep.
As much
100%.
as, hey, look, I'm excited to see Jared, just the rookie wide receivers, of course. That's the sexy stuff. But the stuff that is actually going to determine whether this team is a disaster this year, beyond the obvious quarterback play, is going to be the offensive line. And if the offensive line against the second teamers for the Bears is on skates early on, that doesn't mean they can't gel and all that. I'm just saying you want to see that offensive line look like they've got a chance, because last year gave none of the quarterbacks chances. You saw that right off the bat with Joe Flacco, and then immediately goes to Cincinnati, who doesn't have a great offensive line, but goes to Cincinnati.
It was better.
But it was better, yeah.
And they do have the pieces that you would say you can really put together a nice offensive line for years. When we had Tony Pike on back on Wednesday, I said, man, I do really like Amarius Mims, and they're hoping for big things here in year 3 for them. I'm paying attention to the offensive line. You hit it right there. Elton Jenkins at center. Spencer Fano, obviously. I think that a lot of people are going to pay attention to him. I'm very careful what to say about Spencer Fano because you've had guys you've had him in there penciled in at left tackle. I do think that when I say his future's at a different position, I think the natural reaction is to say you're already hammering the guy. He hasn't even played in one game. That's not it. It's just from the offensive line people that you speak to, they think that if you find yourself, this is weird, if you find yourself in a position to take a quarterback next year, you could take a quarterback next year. Now, depending on what that guy does well and doesn't do well, you could take a Spencer Fano, move him back over to right tackle, and then if you find yourself in a position of need, want, best player available, happens to be a left tackle, you could take a left tackle, put that left tackle there, and you still have enough wiggle room and enough freedom with Spencer Fano where you could put Spencer Fano over there at right tackle. That's what we're talking about when we got a guy like Spencer. He is a guy who gets you a lot of personal freedom across the offensive line to be able to put guys in positions that are going to be advantageous. And that's what matters the most. So he's such a good athlete that you could possibly put him there and have that figured out. It's the same thing when I look over at a guy like DeJuan Jones. That's been a big-time conversation where you saw him working a little bit over at right. You know his natural position is over there at right. Is Titus Howard able to do that at right tackle? Or, as Mary Kay had said to us yesterday, I think Daryl alluded to today, can you take a DeJuan Jones, put him at right tackle, hopefully he stays healthy an entire year. That's going to be an extremely important thing. And then maybe even take Titus Howard and bump him into right guard next to Elton Jenkins. Where does Austin Barber fit into this, who's had a nice start to camp? Where does Parker Brailsford fit into this here? Where do those guys go? Offensive line. Quarterbacks, we're always going to be paying attention to quarterbacks. But when it comes to offensive line, where guys can go, where guys can mix and match, it's going to be a tough year for that to start things off. I think that's got to be the biggest thing that you pay attention to. Nickel corner's a big deal. Wide receivers, pass catchers, they're a big deal after the first 4 guys that you're keeping there. Linebacker, guys filling in, that's going to be a big one. Yeah, there's some holes here. That's why it's going to be probably a 6-win team in my estimation, but there's still some gold there that you want to be able to build on. Coming up in 5 minutes, Nathan Zagur going to join us on the show. Of course, he's talking quarterbacks, but what else is he paying attention to in preseason game number 1? And, yeah, Keith, I'm doing a joke. It's a joke. Paxton Lynch and Eddie Lacy and Preston Lacy, it's a joke. Get the joke, dummy. Coming up at 9:20, we have a hell freezing over, where I actually agree with Sarah Ono. About what? I'll tell you at 9:22 if I don't get yelled at and can't do the next segment because I just called Keith a dummy. On the Fan!
and on the Odyssey app for all today's headline segments. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Talk sports deep into the Cleveland night. Overtime with Jake Volnick. Weeknights at 7. Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. Training camp coverage powered by Expert Renovations and Consumer Tire. 92.3 The Fan.
It's unfair, you bastards. You know he can't comment on it. I mean, he could respectfully, right?
I mean, he might have to.
All right, let's bring on Zagura. He's in, I think he's in Chicago. You in Chicago?
That's right, Monfrere, in the Windy City.
All right, hold on. Where was dinner last night?
Don't ask him that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If he wants to answer it, he can answer it.
A very good Italian place, like Tre Italia or hold on one second. Tre Dita. It was very good.
All right, now
very, very good.
You lost Lima because he's going to look at the menu now for the rest of the interview.
You should, and I would recommend it.
All right, we're going to start quarterbacks, and then we're going to obviously work our way out. What do you need to see from Deshaun Watson yesterday to feel, or tomorrow, not yesterday? What do you need to see from Deshaun Watson tomorrow to feel better about the quarterback position of the Cleveland Browns?
I just want him to come out, and I want him to be efficient. I want him to operate well. We know we're not going to see a lot of the starters of the Chicago Bears. We are going to see a lot of the starters of the Cleveland Browns, and so I think he should be moving the ball. I want to see the ball come out on time. I want to see the ball be accurate to all levels of the field. I want to see him look comfortable in the pocket. I want to see him be able to show what he can do a little bit with his legs. But, I think the expectation should be that he comes out and looks good and completes a high percentage of his passes, and that the offense moves the ball up and down in field and puts the ball into the end zone.
Nathan, overall, did you notice, or what were the key differences between the two quarterbacks, both for good and for bad? I know Monken kind of talked about arm strength on one side of things, getting guys in and out of the huddle on the other side of things. Consistency is what they're looking for. But what did you notice? You were there every day.
Yeah, I would say that, before the ball is snapped, Deshaun has been the most consistent performer in that side of it. I think that once the ball has been snapped, Shedeur had been the most consistent performer in that regard. But I would say over the course of the last week, starting, and now it'll be, by the time he takes the field on Saturday, it'll be 10 days. The last 10 days, Deshaun Watson has been really good. And he's kind of got that bounce in his step back. He's throwing the ball very, very well to all three levels. I think his arm looks very strong. He's throwing a tight spiral. Now we got spin rate thanks to Sam Darnold. But I thought he's looked very good throwing the ball. He's looked confident. He's looked decisive. And he's really been able to kind of drill the ball in there. Shedeur has improved on everything pre-snap over the course. Just like Deshaun has improved post-snap, Shedeur has improved pre-snap. And Shedeur Sanders throws a great deep ball. He has a knack for being very accurate on those balls down the field. Throws them a little bit like Jeff Blake for those people who have been watching the National Football League for quite some time. Gets a little bit of that moon ball, gets it up high, drops it into the bucket. We saw the throw that he made to Isaiah Bond last week, or at the end of practice, I want to say a couple days ago. It feels like last week. That was one of the best balls of camp. Great catch by Isaiah Bond, who's had a very nice camp as well. But both of these guys, I think, have given you reason for optimism in terms of their ability to hit chunk plays and move this offense. I think the guy that's going to ultimately win this job will be the one that gets them in and out of the huddle, and that while mixing in those chunk plays, the layups can be layups. Because in the National Football League, as a quarterback, those layups have to be layups. That's kind of the bread and butter of your whole operation. And when you are able to hit chunk plays on top of that, that's when you become really a good quarterback in this league. The best part about it for whomever ends up being the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns is that the supporting cast around them is as good as it has been in a long, long time. I mean, with Boston and Concepcion and with Judy and with Bond and with Fannin and with Judkins and Sampson's shown a lot catching the ball out of the backfield, which he was very good at last year. You've got to feel good about the skill talent around the quarterback for the first time probably since you go back to when we had Nick Chubb and Jarvis and Odell. This is the first time we've had that kind of a group around him.
All right, so what's Shedeur got to do then, other than getting in and out?
It's the same thing. You've got to make good decisions with the football, and you've got to show the ability to win at all three levels. And for Shedeur, one of the things that I would say that has impressed me so much about what he's done is, last year you go back and think about his preseason debut in Carolina where he made a bunch of flash plays. Everybody's excited. But there was also some stuff drifting out of the pocket and trying to do too much, not really playing the position and being where the offensive lineman expected. He's gotten so much better with standing tall in the pocket, climbing the pocket. So for Shedeur, it's really the same thing. You need to operate this offense efficiently. I'm going to say next week, my guess is the Buffalo Bills, after having one day of joint practice, are probably not going to play starters. Shedeur is going to have the benefit of playing with the starters. So it's going to be similar to what Deshaun is. Those balls got to be moving up and down the field. It's got to be efficient, and it's got to be explosive, and it's got to end with, putting touchdowns and points on the board.
Should I read in anything that Shedeur Sanders is starting that second preseason game after the joint practice?
No. I mean, I got the chance to sit down with Todd Monken, and I would urge everybody who has not heard it to listen to my interview with Todd from the first edition of the Todd Monken Show. But I got to spend quite a bit of time with him. I can tell you definitively, do not read anything into it. There is nothing. This is very much a competition. This is very much open. He has not made up his mind. And has not tipped his hand if somebody's even in the lead to that matter. I think this is wide open, and I think these games are more important than people might realize because so much goes into it. And yes, there's hours of the meetings and in the meeting rooms and the film and all of that. And then, of course, the training camp practices. But think about the pressure on this. You're Deshaun Watson. That's why I think this is going to be kind of captivating TV or, in my case, captivating radio to listen to because – this is probably as much pressure as Deshaun Watson has felt in a long time. The same will be likely true for Shedeur Sanders. This is your audition. This is your chance to go out there and say, I should be the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns in 2026. I think it's going to be fascinating. I think both of these guys are going to rise to the occasion, and that would be a wonderful situation being where they both play really, really well. But you're Deshaun. You have the first crack at it on the road. Let's see what happens.
What's the biggest thing you're watching other than QBs?
It's a good question. I would say with the starting lineup, the thing that I would be watching the most with the starting lineup is the offensive line.
Okay.
What's happening at right guard? That's the one battle that's still open. But beyond that, how do Fano and Howard look at the tackle positions? How's Elton Jenkins, who's a two-time Pro Bowler, but as a guard who just really started playing center last year, how does he look at center? How does Zion look at left guard? We expect him to be good. And then kind of what's happening at right guard, whether it's Tevin Jenkins, whether it's Casey Levison, whether it's Tyree Phillips, what's happening at that right guard spot? So I think the offensive line is the most important thing. And then outside of the starters, the corner depth is probably, in my opinion, the biggest question mark on this football team. If Tyson Campbell and Denzel Ward go down right now, I don't know that we have a great answer on the outside at that position to back them up. And that's not easy to find. I don't know that you can just go out and find it, but that's something that has me a little concerned. And my guess is, Todd said everybody who's healthy will play. Tyson hasn't practiced in quite some time. So my guess is Tyson Campbell won't play and that Trey Avery would start in that spot. So I think it's a big day for Trey Avery to try to say, no, I can be, that fourth corner, that third outside corner.
Nathan, it was a blast from the past this past week on individuals on the defensive line that Andrew Berry was looking at. What do you make right now of what that rotation could look like? And are they kind of in a desperate need here to add bodies?
So is kind of the short answer in terms of a desperate need. Do they want to add one more, veteran pass rusher? Absolutely. That's why you saw them entertain Jadeveon Clowney. It's why we saw Zadarius Smith took a meeting, and I think that there's a good chance that Zadarius Smith does end up back with the Cleveland Browns. He was a great guy to be around when he was here before. And I think as a situational pass rusher, he can be very effective. The end room is in very good hands right now. Jared Verse, Alex Wright, and then Isaiah McGuire has had a fantastic camp in the last year of his rookie contract. Alex Wright has really stepped up his game, become a leader, coming off a season with a career-high 12 tackles for loss. And then, obviously what Jared Verse has brought to the team. On the interior, we'll see. Mason Graham, I want to see him take a big leap, right? He's had a good camp. Mike Hall was having, I think, maybe the Denzel Boston of the defense type of a camp. before he got injured, and we have not seen him since. I'm told that he will be back very soon, and that it's not anything that's going to linger into the season. The hope is that Malik Collins will be back soon. We haven't really seen Kalia Davis much, and Kalia Davis is the guy who started 17 games for the Niners last year at defensive tackle, and then you've got Aiden Huntington. So when you're healthy, you feel good about it. Sam Kamara in the mix as well. You're like, okay, that's just 6 guys that you named. The problem is, of those 6, the only 2 that we've seen really consistently are Aiden Huntington and fortunately Mason Graham. So I think we're in a good spot there. I do think we need to add one more pass rusher. That's something that they've been focused on kind of all offseason, going back to when, they thought A.J. Epinesa was going to come in and be that guy. So, yeah, I do think that Z could make a lot of sense there. I do think you'll add another veteran pass rusher. But I think we're in a pretty good spot at defensive tackle, assuming, that we get everybody back right.
We are spending so much time on diagnosing, what Jared Verse is going to do, how he's going to look in this defensive scheme. But what we're not talking about is how different will the scheme look from Jim Schwartz and what, that had looked like the last few years.
So from a front perspective, I don't think it's going to look much different. It is going to be an attack front. Their job is to get off the field. And boy, Jared Verse, when you're at camp, his get off is outrageous. And the last day that we were there for practice was he was dominant. It was a tough day for Spencer Fano, but he fights literally and figuratively, bounced back as the practice went on. But from a front standpoint, I don't think it's going to look much different. From even at the second level, I don't think it's going to look much different. We're still going to see, 3 safeties, Grant Delpit get down in the box, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren get down in the box. Where this defense is going to be different than it was a year ago is kind of in 2 things, but it's all really kind of secondary and coverage related. Number one, last year, we led the league in single high. We were near the bottom of the league in pre-post snap disguise. We were basically said, look, we play great man coverage. We're playing single high. Deal with it. And we were great at it. Now, back in Atlanta last year, one of the things that the Falcons were near the top of the league in is disguise, pre and post snap. You're going to see a lot more of that this year, a lot more. So you're going to see, and I think you'll see a higher percentage of 2 high safety looks ultimately once the ball is snapped than we saw a year ago. And I think the way that we get into those and what we show pre-snap, post-snap is going to be very different. There are a lot of times now where you'll show an all-out blitz, right? And then we end up dropping out into it, and we can drop into a single high or a 2 high. We can show single high with Hickman back there, but as the ball snaps, it's a rotation. He goes down, and Emmanuel McNeil-Warren goes into that single one. We show single high, we end up in 2 high, so 2 high end up in 1 with have somebody come down and be a robber. So I think there's going to be a lot more on the back end, and from a coverage standpoint, variation in what we do, a lot more different in terms of middle field open, middle field close in what we do, and then a lot more kind of pre-post snap disguise than a year ago. But everything up front is going to look and feel the same, I think, in terms of our guys getting to the quarterback and the get off and what they want those defensive linemen to do. We are not catching, we are going.
Nathan Zagura joining us here on the Wise Heart Right. We make it right. Call Kyle Right hotline. A lot of quarterbacks had a really good day yesterday in their first preseason games. Fernando Mendoza was great. Drew Aller was great. Will Howard, I know he's a second-year guy, but he was great. What do you take away? Because we've been guilty here in this city of getting really excited over preseason performances. What do you take away from a guy having a very strong preseason performance now?
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, we can go back, 3 years ago when Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers scored a touchdown on every single drive they had in the preseason, and then they didn't get a first down until the 4th quarter against the Niners in the season opener. So really the answer is nothing. Now you say, well, how can you say that when you just said how important these preseason games are for us? For us, it's not. It's about how they respond to the pressure of this moment to me, and how they operate and what we produce. For us, I think it's important because we don't have a quarterback yet, right? We're in a quarterback competition. So it's how do you handle it? Even if it's easy, for example, on a golf course, if you're 100 yards in the middle of the fairway, you say, okay, yeah, that's a lot easier. The stakes aren't as high. But if I'm saying I need to see you hit the green, you still have to hit the green.
Yeah.
For people around the league, I don't think it matters all that much. From a rookie standpoint, like for a Drew Aller, for a Mendoza, it tells you, okay, they've been in their playbook. They're comfortable. The moment's not too big for them. But what that means in terms of playing football in the National Football League, I think it tells you very, very little. I really do. And I think we've kind of seen that be proven time and time and time and time again. Winning in the preseason doesn't matter, as we well know. I don't think you gain a whole lot from it other than maybe it confirms it directionally. Like, man, there was one throw where Mendoza did the play action through that deep kind of in the traffic. You say, okay, his arm is definitely NFL caliber. That was a great decision, great ball, ripped it. That's good. Aller, yeah, we see he's got the ability, which we knew at Penn State, to throw it. He's got good legs. Okay, confirms that. But does this mean that any of these people who had good-looking games in the preseason are going to be successful in the NFL? Absolutely not.
Nathan, thank you very much. We'll be listening to you and Andrew and Gerard coming up tomorrow afternoon right here on your flagship home for Cleveland Browns football, 92.3 The Fan. Encouraging everybody to go to Browns.com as well. Listen to Nathan's interview with Todd Monken, the very first ever Todd Monken show earlier this week on Tuesday, getting ready for the Bears and your Cleveland Browns coming up Saturday afternoon. Nathan, thank you very much for the time.
All right, guys. Thank you.
The outstanding Nathan Zagura. On the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right, Call Kyle Right hotline. Takes nothing away from quarterback performances in the preseason.
Yeah, he did reference Jeff Blake early in the interview, and it had me thinking
one of them big bombers.
He did. It had me thinking, do we have the Carl Pickens and Darnay Scott with our young wide receivers? It took me right back to that year. That was one of the
Darnay
That was
Scott.
one of the most exciting early years of my NFL watching that Cincinnati team. And I didn't hate Cincinnati at that point. I was too young. But I remember being enthralled by watching the deep balls.
I've never hated Cincinnati. Yes, Owen.
Jeff Blake was quarterback coach of?
Oh, wait a second. We did this.
We did this last year.
But I don't remember already.
Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur!
That's right. That's right.
I totally forgot about that.
What a comparison. Did he teach him how to throw that ball?
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable by Nathan. All right.
Honestly, he didn't teach him anything else.
Coming in hot, coming up at
Like
9.
what?
Coming in hot, coming in at 9:45.
Like what else, Owen?
Coming in hot at 9:45. Keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste.
Like what else, Owen?
Within the boundaries of good taste. Keep your comments in those boundaries. That's at 9:45. 5 minutes away.
He put him in. He's going to use them.
Hell has frozen over. I agree with Sarah Ono completely on a faux pas by the NFL. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima. Hell freezing over. I felt like Chuck Berry for 4 years having to listen, and here I am agreeing with Sarah Ono. Coming up in 5 on The Fan.
And now we are diving into season 3.
So whether it's your 50th rewatch or your first time through, follow How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcasts.
Sign up to be a part of the fan club. Download the free Odyssey app and follow 92.3 The Fan to get all of the best audio and best stories sent straight to your inbox. 92.3thefan.com. Training camp coverage powered by Genesee Brewing Company. 92.3 The Fan.
Fan Cash Fridays, powered by Fanatic Sportsbook, America's fastest growing sportsbook. Be the 10th caller right now on our 92.3 The Fan contest line for your chance to win $100 in Fan Cash from Fanatic Sportsbook, which we do every single Friday. Winning hits different here. We'll have the winner at the end of the segment. Kenny, my wife is not happy. I know, it's a day that ends in Y. My wife
I didn't say that.
None too happy at all because I sent her Adam Schefter's tweet from earlier today. Super Bowl LXI. Can anybody go with Roman numerals? Anybody? The first
61.
61.
Hell yeah.
The first time in NFL history that the championship game will be played on Valentine's Day, which takes place 6 months from today. Now, young John ran in here to tell us, you guys didn't know the Super Bowl was on.
I remember hearing about it. It was you. He started yelling. Every conversation John has with everybody starts in an accusatory fashion.
Guys, this has been known for literally since last year's Super Bowl.
John, I knew. So don't be saying you guys. I knew. So don't be yelling at me.
Yeah, every single thing is, you didn't know?
You got people trying to get in. Do your job, John.
Yeah. It's a Fan Cash Friday.
If
anyway,
we're throwing around accusations, how about accusations of you not doing the job, Johnny?
All right, so my wife responded, why are they doing that? That's annoying for everyone.
And for the first time, how long you been married?
4 years.
And you known her for how long?
4 years.
Well, no, you guys dated for only a few months and got married, right?
5 years.
Okay. First time in 5 years, I've agreed with her.
Really?
Second time in 5 years, I agree with her because I am not allowed to say that part. No, I'm saying I don't care. What's she going to do? Beat me? She changed plans for your 40th birthday. And I was like,
that's right.
And you had a friend of yours get really upset. And I go, it's his to-be wife. Shut up. It's their thing. You got to stand in your lane, man. Well, I've known him for 40 years. Yeah, but you don't do for him what she does for him, so you got to stand by, man. So that's the one other thing I agreed with her on. And I agree with her on this. It's just how it falls in the calendar. It's timing. The NFL waits for no holiday.
No.
The NFL's above everything, which is amazing to me that, all you read about is how it dominates every single part of sports in America, and people are less and less kids are wanting to play it. It's on Valentine's Day, and I agree with Sarah. It's a pain. It's a pain in the ass. It takes away from the specialness of the day. Now, I understand I got a different relationship with my wife than what a lot of people do. We don't give each other gifts, but you like to do nice things on Valentine's Day. It's an easy thing. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to have a bunch of people over.
No, well,
now some people have a bunch of people over on Valentine's Day anyway, and those people happen to live in Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
Yeah, they do. And,
so this is no
certain
problem.
Neighborhood in Rocky River.
The Super Bowl is no problem in Chagrin Falls in a certain neighborhood in Rocky River,
not the library neighborhood.
And not the library neighborhood, so put away the keys. But everybody else, they got a bit of an issue here with Valentine's Day, and I got to tell you, I think I agree with
Well, here's the interesting thing. Do you punt Valentine's Day to the Saturday or even Friday? Or when it comes to women, and
February 13th is not February 14th,
right,
sir.
You have to ask women if they're okay with this, or it's just going to turn into everybody does a Valentine's Day brunch. Like nobody's going to be able to handle the influx of everybody brunching at the same time.
That's a lot of brunch.
Are you just going to be drunk all day? Which I can do it. I can manage it. It's going to be tougher on my wife, who's not going to be happy about that sort of thing.
Fine, I'll take the sacrifice. I'll do it.
Like, how is that going to go? I'd love to hear from women on this, seriously, because I'm sure that they did not cross-reference this with the NFL schedule.
But if they're listening to this at 9:29 in the morning, I'm assuming they're big football or sports fans, big football fans then, too?
If they're listening to us,
So I don't think they're going to have a problem with that.
Well, or will they?
Our female listeners probably aren't going to have a problem.
I don't know. I do wonder because they expect to be, on Valentine's Day, they just do. They expect to not have to do anything. my wife just wants to actually have no kids around. That's her Valentine's Day. She does not want to be bothered. Same thing with a Mother's Day. But they do expect a level of pampering, and they expect a night of great dinner, whether it's home cooked or my wife doesn't want that. Or a nice restaurant.
So she doesn't want pizza and wings and the other Super Bowl fare?
Absolutely does not. No. Nachos.
I agree with her. Totally have to. I don't know what you do. John takes his girlfriends out for the girlfriends he's had for Valentine's Day breakfast, and he says it's such a thing. And I'm like, well, all your relationships have ended in breakups, so I don't understand how that you can say that that's so successful.
Or the girlfriend gets the dinner, the other girl that you travel to Miami to see,
who's a totally platonic friend, apparently.
She gets brunch. I don't know how that works.
Now, what does the boyfriend do? What corner does he sit in? And at what time of day does he do it, John?
Where's the command
there?
Center?
John, are you there?
I'm not answering this question.
Why aren't you answering the question?
It's beneath
clams
me.
up.
Oh, we're pleading the fifth. We're pleading the fifth over here, huh? Been a lot of that going around, eh?
Everyone knows what you do in that situation.
A lot of not answering the questions going around out here, coming in hot at 9:45, John. So you're not going to answer that all of a sudden? Come on, Casanova. Show us how the sex is done. I take all my girlfriends to breakfast. It's a great thing.
Great. Is
it? Because all your relationships have been failures. So how can it be? How can it be successful?
How many of your relationships before you got married were failures, Ken? All of them. I am 3 years younger than you were when you got married.
I've been a married man for 17 years. No, for 15 years almost. But I've been together with my wife for 17 years. I think I know a thing or two about good relationships.
I got to answer line one.
Oh, now all of a sudden he wants to answer the phones and do his job. And he still didn't answer the question about what the other guy's going to do.
And then he's going to belittle whoever's on the phone. You didn't know?
Yeah.
Are restaurants even open during the Super Bowl?
Hurry up and scream the call so I can put you back on air, John. Let's go.
That aren't like,
The only places I know open are like pizza places and sports bars.
What's their biggest day of the year?
Yeah.
That and
the Super Bowl, yeah.
We all worked pizza in our youth, right? The Titans-Rams Super Bowl, I did not work and was fired for it.
You're expected.
I remember you telling us that.
As a pizza boy.
You didn't say that on the air, but yeah, Owen didn't work. He refused to work, and he got summarily fired for it. My pizza shop experience was awesome, man. I told you guys that story a few weeks ago. 216-474-0092.
So some of the few pizza stories we can tell.
Before I take this phone call, John.
Yes, Ken.
What's that platonic friend's boyfriend going to do during this?
I don't know. Probably watch the damn Super Bowl.
Watch what? Is that what you guys call it now, the Super Bowl? It's interesting. Let's get to Jim in Concord. Hello, Jim.
Hey, you guys totally henpecked or what?
What are you talking about? Henpecked? What's henpecked?
My wife doesn't care if the Super Bowl is on Valentine's Day. In fact, most of my friends' wives, we look forward to a Super Bowl party. So it'll even be better on Valentine's Day. That's my take.
Okay. Well, where's your wife? Will you have your wife call in?
I'd like to hear her
from
thoughts
the ladies
on this.
Maybe you're just making her feel that way.
My wife was watching Green Bay and Pittsburgh with me, and then Mitch Trubisky after that. She loves football.
Well, now hold on. Now I'm glad she loves football, but I mean, it was August 13th yesterday. I saw Mitch Trubisky, by the way. Yeah. Already been in the league 10 years now.
What?
Yeah. Time goes by. He's already over. Well, I think this is his 10th season.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, sorry, Jim. Back to the nature at hand. That was August, though. This is going to be February 14th. It makes no damn bit of difference to your wife?
I'm sure it won't. And a lot of my friends.
Well, he's hedging now.
Sure
he's already starting to backpedal.
I'm sure it won't.
No, I'm not backpedaling, but I'm maybe a couple of the girls will, roll their eyes or something, but they'll be happy because everybody will be together.
It's the best
That's what
thing.
it's all about. Camaraderie.
Thank you very much, Jim. Tony, you want to go on this golf trip? Yeah, hell yeah. Sarah's fine with it. I think she'll be fine with it.
She should be.
She should be fine with it, yeah.
I mean, if you make the tee time, do you have to put a credit card number in?
We should probably put the incidentals on your card, Ken, just to make sure.
Yeah.
I agree with Sarah. But we're a far cry from the Super Bowl right now. We're getting ready for preseason game number 1.
Yeah, let me ask, hold on, Ken. Let me ask Tim in Fairview Park, who is, by the way, our Fan Cash winner every single Friday. $100. He's our 10th caller at 92.3 The Fan. Congrats, Tim. Will this money be going to a very nice evening out at the same time as the Super Bowl on Valentine's Day?
No, I doubt it. I'll probably list on Facebook Marketplace and have a little skiing trip or something.
Okay, all right, Tim.
That's going to cover it. Tim, what will you do? Will your partner be upset that it happens to coincide with Valentine's Day, the big game this year?
Boom.
No, she won't care. Our son's birthday is on President's Day, so I mean that weekend's already ruined anyways. So yeah, she won't care.
Ruined. All right, Tim.
Yeah, it's ruined.
Now, why is it ruined?
Doesn't care about Valentine's Day. Doesn't care about his kid's birthday. Doesn't care about President's Day.
Well, it's his first birthday, but this is our third child, so I think she's just going to stress over the weekend,
Tim,
putting the party together.
Will there be a smash cake involved?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Do you buy luxury diapers, Tim?
Yeah, we do. I won't name drop the brand, but yeah, we do.
I saw that for the
thank
first
you,
time.
Tim. Congratulations.
Yeah, Tim, congratulations. You can buy more luxury diapers. I saw them for the first time. I go, I can't believe people actually buy these. I was doing a pickup order.
What makes them
And I'm going,
luxury?
oh my God, someone buys them. They got to be better. Like, it's got to be for kids with like baby eczema or
What's
something.
the thread count?
That has to be the one. 216-474-0092. Coming in hot. Keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. I beg you. And I beg you that this one's better than last week's, because last week's was absolutely terrible. 216-474-0092. Do you have a diabolical question just in case?
Oh, I'm working on one as we speak. After what happened last week.
You guys better pick it up or the diabolical question's going to come out. 216-474-0092. Coming in hot. Coming up in 5 minutes on The Fan.
It's
conveyors and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hear from Todd Monken immediately after the game. The official Browns postgame show is only on 92.3 The Fan.
This is head coach Todd Monken, and you're coming in hot.
Mario characters as Browns quarterbacks. First, you got Johnny Manziel as Wario.
Here I go. Why.
Then, of course, you got everybody loves Jameis Winston as Yoshi. And last but not least, you got It's Me, Flacco. Wahoo! Dun 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 dun. Go Browns!
That's a good touch. Who was that caller? Did he give a name?
He did. I don't remember. It is Casey and Ashland.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well done.
I don't really appreciate the Italian mocking during the feast weekend.
Oh, you don't, do you?
That's very offensive. Appropriating the Italian. That's a caricature. That's not how we talk. We don't say gabagool.
We have sat there and been around all the Italians while a guy was singing opera at Columbus Day. We were literally there with Boom Boom Mincy.
we really
One of
were.
the great heroes of Italian Americans.
And Mike Fratello. And if Raleigh Massimino would have been around, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
I'll be there tonight.
Yeah, of course you will.
We'll see you guys over there.
He'll be there tomorrow. He won't be watching the Browns game. You know you're not.
No, I
Don't
won't.
even lie to everybody.
I'm committed.
Okay, sure.
I'm a Browns fan.
Are we ready? It's time. Let's go to Coming in Hot.
All right, Cleveland, it's time to get whatever you want off your chest. Cleveland, you're coming in hot. The phone lines are open now.
Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. 216-474-0092. Hello, you're coming in hot.
John here, not to mention Roger Goodell, but Roger, would you rather have been seen hobnobbing with Jimmy Haslam at the groundbreaking or break dancing at the reception with Dee? Roger.
Did he lose his place?
No, he always
he just hung up.
bookends it. It
Okay.
always is a bookend. It starts one way and then finishes.
I thought he lost his place. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hey, Kenny, don't be double dipping your moon pie in Tony's marinara sauce.
We're off to a good start. Hello, you're coming in hot.
It was a hot, sweltering day in the summer of 1994. Little Kenny Carman was plopped on the couch playing some duck hunt and eating a box of Ho-Hos. But there's a problem. A door opens off in the hallway. A sweaty Ken Sr. emerges in all his glory and screams, "I demand a restful sleep."
You do have more in common with my wife than you realize.
Dude, no, that was my dad. That was dad who did it. I came home. I was under the influence, and I had turned off the AC because the house is small enough. It had a window unit, and he comes out. And he's wearing his tiny whities, and he looked like groundskeeper Willie when he threatened them all in the Simpsons episode where he became Freddy Krueger. And what the F are you doing? I demand a restful sleep, and turns it back on and walks out. It's like, okay. Dad, it was cold. I was inebriated. What are you going to do? I got to go see him here in like an hour. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Lima, I don't know why you're complaining about not being able to throw out the first pitch off the mound last week when you simply could have asked Ken to lay down on his stomach and pitched off that mound of a fat ass of his.
Oh, man, what a visual. Who's not picturing that right now?
That was great. That was great.
And all week he thought about that.
And he pulled it off. Usually they get nervous. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hey, guys, I think I've been listening to this show too much because on Sunday I was at church and the priest picked up the bread and the server shook the bells, ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling, ding-a-ling-a-ling. And then the priest picked up the cup, and from my pew I went, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Nobody got it.
As long as you did. It don't matter.
We're bringing in the Cleveland Orchestra to do this, by the way. Courtside.
If we ain't going to win a championship, we might as well win this.
We're going all out in that damn cup. Group of death. Doesn't matter.
It's the Pop-Tarts Bowl of pro sports. And we had fun watching the Pop-Tarts Bowl that year, so Cam Ward lost that game. Well, you only played the first half.
He quit.
Didn't quit. He was getting ready for the draft.
He was just cooked. He didn't want to.
Hey, it don't matter. I got to see Matt Campbell decide what type of Pop-Tart he wanted to go into the human Pop-Tart thing. I'm thankful for Cam Ward.
Cherry, by the way. Always go cherry.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
This is LeBron James. This is my message to the fans of Northeast Ohio. I'm coming home on November 6th with the Philadelphia 76ers. I'm back.
Why does it sound like Jimmy Kimmel doing Karl Malone back in the day?
Doing Brad Doherty?
Well, it does.
No respect.
Oh, yeah, he was doing something else during that, too. I forgot. I will never eat brown sugar Pop-Tarts, by the way.
What happened?
It tastes like my childhood poverty. Mom always got brown sugar. I'm like, they cost the same as s'mores, just get s'mores. I think she thought I was getting a little chubby.
So she thought the s'mores were worse for you?
Yeah, apparently. Chocolate is worse than brown sugar
in the name.
Listen, she tried. She's not Sarah Ono. She was Deb Carman. There's a difference. Ain't running no marathons. Certainly ain't running marathons now. All right, you're coming in hot.
Speaking of your childhood, didn't you once tell a story that when you were 16, you were playing in your room, you had Living in Stereo by the Cars on, you opened your window and your neighbor was taking her shirt off, and at the same time your mom opened the door and said, Kenny! And then you ran to the shower because you started sweating. And then your mom picked up your sock and talked to Mr. Whipple from the Charman Company.
Oh, my God.
Mr. Whipple.
It's a lot. That was a lot. Never got walked in on there.
No?
No. Never happened.
Some people are into that.
Does it count if it's your first girlfriend? That almost happened once. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hello, Ken and Lima. It is me, Satan. Kennedy, who are you kidding me? Your tasty snack as a kid was a fig Newton. Your mom told you they were cookies, but they weren't.
They're fruited cake.
Lima, you're out of my reach. I don't know what you've done, but you've taken this high road. You'll fall like they all do. And Ken, you've gone on to prove that, in fact, it is sometimes possible to have too much of a good thing. I turn on the radio and there you are. I turn on the news and there you are. Friday night touchdown and there you are. I can't escape Ken Carman.
Sorry.
I feel like I'm in my own version of hell.
Which the issue is that I haven't really been on the 6 because we have youth football practices. And I keep going, are you still at 8? Are you still at 8?
Oh, people think you lost your job.
I'm like, yeah, guys, we just record them now. So I'm still towing the fine line. I don't want to get overexposed.
Welcome to hell, mother.
No, say there's your heart dropped for a moment. I go, oh, I trust Owen.
By the way,
John hit it. I wouldn't have.
Potential thunderstorms at Soldier Field. So I don't know how those
tomorrow
wobblers are gonna look. Maybe
that game's delayed.
Oh, and if you get a good wind gust, maybe a duck turns into a spiral. Maybe Dylan Gabriel's aerial attacks.
They can use one of Dylan Gabriel's passes as Dorothy from Twister. Thanks to everybody who joined us today. Daryl was great. Zagura was excellent. Love them both. Lima, thanks to Zagura, Lima spent the rest of the 40 minutes of the show looking at the menu of the restaurant he went to yesterday. We're back Monday, 6 to 10.
Gave him 2 recommendations.
For Big Country, for Jeff, for John, for the Slippery Wizard, Anthony Lima, I'm Ken Carman. Have a wonderful day. Go Guardians. Go Browns. Go Browns. Not going to do Super Bowl.